Spirited Blue and Whites are threatening an upset as the Brisbane Lions fire up without two of their best. Can they hold strong against a feisty Roos, or will Pagan claim the points and a spot in the top 8? All the action from the Gabba right here on AFL Saturday.
Yes, it is Saturday night football at the Gabba in Brisbane. It's the Brisbane Lions up against the Kangaroos. In the second half of round 12, Brisbane top of the table. 8 wins and 3 losses. Have gone win-loss over their last 5 games, but they have been supreme here at the Gabba. Haven't lost here since round 9 of last season. They come up against the Kangaroos, 10th position at the moment, 6 wins and 5 losses. They've won 3 of their last 4 after hitting a slump mid-season, and they're starting to look pretty good. They'll come here tonight with some confidence. Good evening, welcome to the Gabba. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. As we mentioned in the opener, no Michael Voss, no Nigel Lappin. As I welcome our expert commentator tonight, Malcolm Blight. Malcolm, the Kangaroos would fancy their chances.
Look, I think they do, and yes, you're not going to get the Lions with 60 possessions less, 4 goals less in the 2 players you've mentioned. So the Kangaroos are quietly confident.
We see the Brisbane Lions being led out by their acting captain tonight, Justin Leppich. As we take a look at the ladder for season 2002, Justin Leppich coming in for his 150th game. There's Brisbane top of the table, 8 wins and 3 losses, but there are some genuine contenders lurking below them, probably 4.
Yes, I think Port, Collingwood, certainly Adelaide, and I still think Essendon are a real big chance. If they can get 3 or 4 of their really good players back, I think there's still a wild card in this whole mix.
We look at the Kangaroos there in 10th position. They can keep in contact with the top 8. And we've mentioned Brisbane's record at home. A win here is almost worth 8 points. 4 that you get and 4 that no one else gets.
And that's true, isn't it? Geelong and Kangaroos, 2 teams, and Fremantle probably, 2 teams you wouldn't have thought, or 3 teams you wouldn't have thought would be in that position at this stage of the year.
And there are the Kangaroos. They've rallied magnificently. They won their first 2 games of the season, hit a bit of a slump, lost 4 of 5. And people were starting to write them off, and has been so often the case. The boys from Arden Street have rallied, and as I mentioned, won 3 of their last 4. They come in against a weakened, depleted Brisbane Lions tonight. Their engine room missing 2 of its absolute superstars in Nigel Lappin and Michael Voss. We have a look at the stats there. Lappin first in disposals for Brisbane, Voss third.
And it's also their power running, and also what they do, though. They're wonderful, skilled players. They are going to be 2 big losses. But the other hand, I mean, Jason Ackermanis has said, look, perhaps I can step up. I'm sure Brad Scott can step up. They're a very good team, Brisbane. You don't win premierships and sit at the top of the ladder the next year if you're not a very good team.
And the Kangaroos, we saw Adam Simpson there averaging 26 touches for the season. He's second in possessions only to Peter Bell of Fremantle. Really has been a quiet achiever over the years, but people are sitting up and taking notice of him in 2002.
Yeah, look, yes, I think he's starting to join the elite in the competition because his consistency is now there, and also he's a very good mark. And this bloke, Brent Harvey, when he fires and does that sort of stuff running through and kicking goals, the Kangaroos look great.
Harvey averaging 22 touches a game. He's kicked 18 goals for the season. There is Mel Michael, play a crucial part in Brisbane's defence. We've talked about their record at the Gabba. It is an imposing one, Brisbane. There it is, 16 games they've won straight by an average of 50 points. So not only are they winning, but they are putting sides away at home.
Jason, that is an unbelievable stat. I think you'd have to look a long time to find another home side to win by that bigger average.
Only one team in that streak within 5 goals, and the 6 wins this year by an average of an incredible 60 points. So they really are flying at home. One of the reasons for that is their rock-solid defence. This man, 150th game tonight, Justin Leppich. He is a cornerstone of their defence.
Marvellous player, probably the elite defender now in the competition as well. He can play on the tools, the smalls, and runs it out. And can't he cover the ground and use the footy as well?
Speaking of covering the ground, Mel Michael has really blossomed, hasn't he, at Brisbane?
Look, it's been a perfect fit, hasn't it? I mean, everything seemed to work well for him. He takes a really good player, obviously, at full-back, and is capable of doing that. He's still very good in the air.
Well, the lineups for both sides, as we mentioned, no Voss, no Lappin, but still plenty of talent right across the board. Brisbane, number 1 in attack in the competition. The Roos 12th in defence. Lynch and Bradshaw, obviously big keys up forward.
Well, they are, and they don't kick a lot of goals, bags together, but they absolutely help each other. So, two-pronged, been terrific.
Jonathan Brown been a bit more quiet than last season, and Jason Ackermanis, as we mentioned, has put his hand up this week to say, I want to go in and play a bigger role.
Yeah, and Lee Colbert just starting to sneakily get back into a bit of form in the back line.
We look at the centre lines for both sides. We've mentioned Adam Simpson. Anthony Stevens is another one not to be forgotten. Brad Scott having a fantastic year, maybe a little underrated.
I think so, and Des Headland, an improving player.
and Chris Scott on the other wing there for Brisbane. Jason McCartney at centre-half forward, Justin Lepich there at centre-half back, and the ever-explosive Byron Pickett kicked 22 goals for the year.
And I'm really looking forward to watching Digby Morrell. I think he's an improver. He looks like he's becoming a better player.
Martin Pike also having a great year. There's Severio Rocker at full forward. He's kicked 23 for the season to lead the way for the Kangaroos. Lee Harding gets plenty of the ball, just needs to convert.
Yeah, he does spray him, doesn't he, under pressure. So, yes, that's it, certainly. But if you keep getting the ball, one day it's going to turn for him.
In the rucks, Matthew Burton against Clark Keating. Ben Robbins has been a much improved player, playing against his old side this evening.
Yes, and the big fellas will be interesting. Keating coming back into form. Burton, I think, has had a pretty good season, really. I mean, used off the bench a fair bit, but he is lively when he gets on top of his form.
Opportunity too for the likes of Luke Power to get into the middle a little bit tonight. We look at the bench. Interesting, both sides have a resting ruckman to rotate through the ground this evening.
And I'm sure that'll happen with both Porter and Jarman, and Blakey the veteran, and of course Hart the veterans. So it's a good mixture on both benches.
Well, we are almost set to go. There is Justin Lepich. We mentioned him. 150th game. He's acting captain tonight. A wonderful honour for him. Number 4 in the 1992 draft. He's been around an awful long time. Best and fairest All-Australian and Premiership player. Almost set to go here for this round 12 clash between the Brisbane Lions and the Kangaroos. Back with all the action after this break.
I said to our guys we weren't going to talk about it again, but just for you and Foxtel Mark, we'll talk about it again.
Every time I inspect a work... Welcome back to the Gabba. There's the two skippers. Justin Lepich, acting captain, wins the toss and will kick to the right of screen. Beautiful night for football as I welcome my co-caller this evening, Matthew Campbell.
Good evening, Jason. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to just tell you, I know we're all football fans, but South Korea have just got into the semi-finals of the World Cup, defeating Spain 5-4 in penalties. They've done it just in time for the start of this game, so very pleased with the World Cup. That's over. We concentrate on what should be a really good game of footy.
There's the Kangaroos, bring it in nice and tight, just some last-minute instructions there. And Malcolm, there'll be a contrast in styles tonight up forward. Brisbane are number 1 for set-shot goals this year. They rely heavily on the likes of Lynch and Bradshaw. The Kangaroos have kicked the most snap goals this season. We see more crumbing play from them. They're going to need to manufacture goals at ground level.
Yes, Dennis Pagan has generally been the longest kicking coach, I guess, influencing his team over a number of years now. They are actually using the ball a bit more than what they've done in the past, but still that lingers, that long kick.
Let's head down boundary side now. Very good evening to our boundary rider, Bill McDonald.
Well, there's nothing like a bit of pre-match controversy, and Jason Ackermanis provided that this morning when asked on radio here in Brisbane his thoughts on the speculation about Wayne Carey playing in Brisbane. And he said, I quote, "If he came to the club, I would leave the club. I wouldn't want to be playing with a guy like that," end of story. But my personal opinion, I'd go play a rugby union. I don't know about playing rugby union, but from the Lions' point of view, I can tell you their chief executive, Michael Bowers, has said he's happy with the current players and that the Brisbane Lions have not made an approach to Carey's management and vice versa. They just want to get on with the business of winning football matches. And tonight they've got perfect conditions. We should get down to about 8 degrees tonight. There's no wind to speak of and a little bit greasy out there at the moment. But I can tell you also the benches for both sides. For Brisbane, we've got Sharman, Bolton, Copeland and Hart, and for the Roos, Blakey, Porter, Clayton and Cochrane. And incidentally, just quickly, all Queensland umpires tonight bar one, so a little bit of history there.
So almost set to go. Jason Ackermanis will start in the centre square as we predicted. Will be Spider Burton in the ruck up against Clark Keating. Round 12 action from the Gabba and we are underway. Burton against Keating in the opening ruck contest. Burton got the tap down. Pike, tackle came from Grant. Crashing through was Jonathan Brown. Kangaroos try to get it forward only as far as Brad Scott. Little handball to space. Chris Johnson off the back edge of the centre square. Kicks it out wide. Looking for and finding Headland. Gathers on the bounce. Spearing left foot kick was a beauty. Finds Scott. He'll go inside the 50. Here comes the lead from Bradshaw. And he hits him lace out on the chest. Wonderful delivery there. And Daniel Bradshaw will go back and attempt to register the first score of the game.
Well, amazing. Kangaroos haven't touched the footy yet. A thump forward, and that was it. Wonderful skills.
So here's Bradshaw, the reverse angle. Kick on its way. Looks pretty good. It is good. Opening goal to Brisbane in the opening minute of the game.
Well, I suppose you're supposed to say now that was a great start, but it is only 30 seconds, isn't it? I mean, this game's obviously got a long way to go, but players will sort themselves out. Just looking in the middle, was interesting. They did play some ducks and drakes at the start as we watched this build up here. That beautiful kick into Bradshaw. Archer just slipped as he went to go, and King in the middle.
Chris Scott in the middle for Brisbane, and he was involved in that goal. He's taking over the role left vacant by Michael Voss. Burton once again with Keating. Very slippery there. A bit of ice skating there from Keating. Ben Robbins, former Lion, will get a free kick in the back. Moves it forward. Plenty of Lions get back into that defensive 50. Over the top came Burton. Grant was in the right spot. Front and square. Quick kick. Needs a good bounce. Doesn't get it. Now Michael quite happy to see it over for a behind. Their first score for the evening.
Matty, I'm just a bit surprised that Lepich is actually playing fullback on Sav Rocker. I just reckon he's been really effective as a centre half back and running out the footy.
Much more dangerous when he runs. Johnson, the designated kicker, and as we see many times with Brisbane, the designated receiver is Darryl White back in the side after a week in the reserves. Here's Akamanis. Rocker, good hands. Simpson quickly bangs it forward. Oh, Brisbane though, 3-on-1. Harding's got to beat them. He doesn't. Lepich takes the mark. Player in the middle on his own. Again, it's Darryl White. Further afield. Scott. This is Brad Scott. He's got plenty of space. No one comes near him. He runs to the 50. Normally a reliable kick. Long. Lynch. But it's wide of the mark and the behind of Brad Scott. And everything opening up in front of him.
Well, it was interesting actually, Akamanis getting into play early there. From those set plays and kickouts, guys like him that get sat upon can actually get lost and get some easy kicks.
King goes straight up the middle. The fist came back in. Akamanis will pump it forward again for Brisbane. T goes back and takes the mark. 12 possessions to 4. Brisbane controlling the football early. Teague now goes short to Makepeace and finds him just outside defensive 50.
Just down the other end, Michael is now playing on McCartney, who's up forward, and Darryl White on Morrell.
Makepeace to Colbert, back to Makepeace. Sweeping handball. Here's Archer in the centre square. Goes straight up the middle looking for Digby. Morrell goes up, good strong hands. Takes the mark 55 metres out from goal. Wide open forward line. He'll thump it long off a step. The Roos will flood back. Brisbane defenders there. Harding was the man. He was infringed. A holding decision. And it is going the way of the Kangaroos and Lee Harding. A bit of Pagan's paddock there without Wayne Carey.
And just missed it there, but from this side it looked as though he just retarded him, and I think it's a pretty good call actually.
So Harding, 9 goals, 15 for the year. Hasn't had such a problem with set shots. It's been on the run. He's kicked 2 goals, 10 on the run. So a set shot early in the game from more or less directly in front would be great for his confidence. Chance for the Roos to level the scores. We look at the reverse angle right behind this kick. In comes Lee Harding. Kick on its way, and he sneaks it inside the left post for a goal. A goal apiece here at the Gabba.
Well, it's been entertaining, and both sides are actually going for it end to end. And I think that's interesting what you say about that younger player in Harding with 2 goals, 10 from under pressure shots. As we watched that, and certainly held on. There was a bit of pushing from both players, but generally a pretty good free kick given. But 2-10, yeah, that's something you can really have a great season, couldn't you? Add 10-2 to it, all of a sudden you become a very good player.
Scores level, 1 goal, 1 apiece. Both been inside their forward 53 apiece. Good knock by Burton. Gets it almost outside the centre square. Unusual by Michael, but Burton. Good pressure from Chris Johnson. Steals the ball. Kicks it up forward towards Bradshaw once again. Archer right with him. This is Aaron Shattuck. He's got to beat 2. King and Stevens. Stevens searches for the boundary and finds it. Crowd still coming in here at the Gabba on a Saturday night. Both teams coming off their split round. They've had a week off. Kangaroos doing more physical work at training to keep their momentum going. Martin between his legs. Ball going nowhere. Umpire Derek Humphrey-Smith decides there'll be a bounce down. Umpires tonight, Derek Humphrey-Smith, Darren Morris and Martin Ellis. And there is the Brisbane bench. A bit of youth and a bit of experience. Charman, Hart and Bolton. inside the lines, forward 50. Burton towards the boundary. McRae went to ground. Over the top was Teague. Robbins trying to help out with him and going nowhere once again.
Matty, you're a pretty good crowd in. How do you reckon, with your knowledge of this ground?
You're looking at just under 30 here at the minute.
Right. But pretty good crowd, really.
So a bounce in the forward 50 for Brisbane. Comes to King. Little handball backward to Mick Martin. He goes across the face of goal. Has Sinclair in space, but it'll sit for him. Pike attacks Sinclair. Little tap over the top to Simpson. Went back looking for Sinclair. Did he do enough to avoid the deliberate? He did. And we will have a throw in.
Martin Pike was a bit cheeky. I mean, trying to get it, say he meant to do it. I think he tried to go back, and that's the only thing he had in mind, wasn't it?
Did enough to create some doubt. Throw in. Lynch wrestles with Burton. It spills to the back. Grant, he's stripped of it. Martin wrapped up by Kamanis. King gets it, gives it to Grant. His kick only as far as Pike from 55 metres out. Low trajectory kick inside the 50. Good juggling mark taken there by Lee Colbert. So Colbert averaging 9 possessions and 3 marks a game in season 2002. Was skipper of the Cats in 1999. Never got out and played a game, unfortunately. Had a knee reconstruction in the pre-season. Never played for the Cats again. King to the outer side. Sinclair takes it on the half volley. Little kick around his body to Anthony Stevens. The skipper goes towards half forward. Morell's his target. Goes back. Oh, what a brilliant mark. The enigmatic Darryl White, and he shows it to the crowd. Again, those go-go gadget arms. And Darryl White, so often in his career, just seems to be out of contest, yet comes up with possession. Ashcroft goes short and finds Scott on the outer wing.
I'm really looking forward to a contest here. Grant and Akamanis are running around together. I mean, they're both talented on-ballers, both good skills, and they're really trying to play off, trying to be accountable. It's quite an interesting little contest.
Around the outer wing, mark taken by Jonathan Brown. His first touch for the evening. Takes it inside 50. Lynch the target. Got hands to it. Couldn't take the mark. Makepeace scores a try. And the umpire says deliberate. Well, we've seen it explained during the week. If you run it over or dive over, straight over the line, it is deliberate. They play on quickly, Brisbane. The kick goes to the top of the square. The mark taken by Spider Burton.
Well, it looked 2 movements, as they would say in another code.
Double movement?
Yeah, double movement.
David King, run and drive off half-back, goes out wide looking for Morell. He's presented himself early. The ball spills over the line for a throw-in.
And I didn't see one player then absolutely go, say that's not right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there wasn't any attempt, really, was there? I suppose if you're going to do that and be consistent, you're going to have more balls in play, which has got to be better for the game anyhow.
Which is why the rule was invented.
Yeah, of course.
Burton the tap, Simpson. Ashcroft had it. The tackle came from Pickett. It was illegal. Umpire plays advantage to Brisbane. Inboard, the ball's found its way to Headland, just backward to centre wing. Headland comes inboard to centre half forward. Brown works his way to the front of the contest. Sinclair paddles it clear, but only as far as Power. Chance for Brisbane to go forward inside the 50. Back with courage there was Teague. Created the contest, brought the ball to ground. Shattuck wrapped up by Martin. Will have a bounce.
Just over 13 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Mandatory stretching by players on the bench. Burton got a call out the back. King, Robbins, first at it. And another ball up inside the lines, forward 50.
This style of play would suit the Kangaroos. Superior in clearances, particularly without Voss and Lappin tonight. You look at the clearance statistics. The Roos are 6th, Brisbane are 14th in clearances.
Lynch, Shattuck, ends up with Simpson. Scott, Brad Scott, as Jason said at the start of the program, having a wonderful season. That is a beautiful kick on the left to Lynch. Decides he's too far out. Has a player deep in the pocket. Chris Scott, tough angle there though. That was a very tough kick. He'll look to lay it off if he can.
Just want a lot of players now lay this across their boot, don't they? Just tilt the ball.
Yep.
Almost just a slightly off-drop punt is the best way to do it, rather than leave the ball flat. And a lot of players now practice this from this sort of angle.
He's kicked 3 goals, 1 for the season, Chris Scott. Occasionally in his forays forward. Decides to play on, create a better angle. He's created a behind. 1-2 to 1-1. David King to bring the ball back in for the Kangaroos.
Brisbane with the zone set up.
And, well, they forgot about their teammate. He's just standing in the middle of the zone, Ben Robbins. A little bit slippery. We've seen a few players go to ground already tonight. No cloud cover, so the dew will increase as the night progresses. Sinclair was looking for Colbert, running back, Pike. Wanted a free kick. Colbert over the top, searching for Pickett. He just cleans up Simon Blake, who bounces back up, bounces up and gets the ball and gives it back to Pike. He's going to be gone. No, just manages to get a kick and finds the boundary.
Well, it's on, isn't it? That's pretty lively stuff. You know, I think Pickett did the right thing there. He just met the ball, turned.
Did both.
Yeah. Stood up, didn't jump. Pretty legitimate, all that.
Boundary throwing right in front of us here at the Gabba. Keating. Oh, Simpson couldn't get it forward. Pike. Little kick over towards Headland is good. Headland. Back to Chris Scott. Tries to draw the play to give it over the top to Martin Pike. Backs him to run. He's having a fine season, Martin Pike. Now inside the forward 50. Bradshaw the target. Burton gets back though for the Kangaroos brilliantly and takes a terrific mark.
There's a super mark. They are worth plenty. When they say contested marks, when you're backing back like that, that is worth plenty.
Burton dishes off to Harvey, goes straight up the middle and finds Colbert just inside defensive 50. Strolls away to the back edge of the centre square, kicks it long. Harding's got 3 to beat. Michael, the big double fist. Still in mid-air. Morrell slaps it inside 50. Lepich, good tackle from Harding, stripped him of the ball. Created the opportunity for Rocker. Umpire said didn't have it. And the free kick will come back to Justin Lepich. So Lepich inside defensive 50. Has a man breaking towards the wing. It's Darryl Hart. We'll try again. Darryl White. Darryl White goes short. And the mark is taken by Jonathan Brown.
I'm sure a former assistant coach at the Crows would be very rapt.
Freudian slip, I'm not sure what it means. The mark taken by Lynch. About 60 metres out. You can see the angle. He's right on the boundary line. So he squares it up to create a better angle on goal. And he's found Scott. Opportunity here for Brad Scott. Been busy early, coming up for his 6th possession.
Foot skills are really good in that passage. Way back from Lepich, and that's one of his dangerous. Great kicking.
So Brad Scott from 52 gives it everything he's got, launches himself into it. It's right to the line. It's a goal. Brad Scott gets Brisbane second. And it's Brisbane 2-2. The Kangaroos 1-1. Less than 10 minutes remaining in the opening term at the Gabba.
Do you sense, Manny, that the two Scott boys have said, well, OK, the guns are out. Hey, we don't mind this feeling, and it's a good thing. It's a real competitiveness in a good team, isn't it, to say, hang on, we can actually lift a bit here?
No question. I mean, Brad Scott's been very good, as you mentioned, but Chris Scott now in the middle. We could see the Scott twins rack up plenty of possessions. Wonderful set shot from Brad Scott, his first goal for the evening. The Lions just out to a 7-point break. Feeling at the Lions is that if they had to give a set shot to anyone in the team, they would give it to Brad Scott. Black, low kick. Working hard underneath was Lynch. Brent Harvey appealing for a free kick over the top of Clark Keating.
Interesting there too. Alistair Lynch well away from the goals on Mick Martin. Bradshaw in the goals. Probably, you know, trying to exploit, you would think, Martin's ability and mobility up the ground, and perhaps Glenn Archer off the mark with Bradshaw in the goal square.
Burton just lays it down, but Shattuck there for Brisbane. Now let's see how Archer is off the mark. Bradshaw gets there first, lays it off to the dangerous Ackermanis. On the left, he doesn't miss these. He did this time. He's hit the woodwork. Malcolm Blight. Beautifully said, beautifully read. And Acker let you down, Malcolm.
Well, he did. Not sure. It probably let himself down more than me, but yeah, it was exciting play, wasn't it? Just that forward in front. Yeah, it was. Should have kicked that. He really misses those, does he?
Harvey straight up the middle. Burton's his target. Kick had too much carry. Shattuck at the back. Wins the ball at ground level. Ackermanis a chance to redeem himself from 40 metres out. Lines up. Goes for goal, and this time he pops it through. Jason Ackermanis kicks his first. He's 22nd for the season. And the Lions have the mini break. They're 3-3-21. The Kangaroos 1-1-7.
Well, right on cue, he did exactly what class does, and he found the footy again. And that wonderful burst of speed. Sensational burst. And he never tries to overkick the ball, I think, Akamanis is his key. Just follows through. Nice kick. Let the momentum of your body add the power to the kick.
Akamanis with 1 goal, 4 possessions. Lions by 14 points. Burton doing very well in the ruck. Tries to get it to Simpson. Reading it was Power. Back forward. Brown provides the contest. Free kick to the Kangaroos, though. It's going to Lee Colbert. No, back to David Teague. Very impressive youngster, David Teague. Pack forming. Keating got back. Burton stayed down, did well. Got to Harvey. The dangerous Brent Harvey. Inside the forward 50, 2-on-1. Chance for Digby Morell over the back. McCartney does well, roves it, throws it on the boot. Pickett almost. We'll have a boundary throw in. Deep inside the forward line for the Kangaroos with just over 8 minutes remaining. Rocker to do battle with Keating. Punch forward by Harding. Pike stands in his way. High ball, should suit the Kangaroos. They've got 2 there. King provided the shepherd for Stevens. Gets back on it nicely in his second attempt, though, and spots up Byron Pickett nicely. We know he can kick a long torpedo. He's going to kick from basically the edge of the centre square at about 55 metres. He's kicked some sensational goals. 22 goals, 8 for the season. He's been on target. So Byron Pickett for the Kangaroos second. Not bad, it's going to go close, but just drifting off to the right. The distance wasn't a problem, so just a behind for Byron Pickett. That'll take him to 22 goals, 9, and take the Kangaroos to 1 goal, 2.
Yes, and once again, the Kangaroos using a zone setup, pretty familiar, 3-4-5. And in fact, with an extra Brisbane player there, there's actually 6 across the middle.
Johnson again to that outer side. We see it so often here at the Gabba. Simon Black takes the mark. His 5th touch coming up. Takes it outside defensive 50. Finds Shattuck. The youngster playing in his 20th game. Originally from Darwin. Via Woodville, West Torrens in South Australia. A long kick to a contested situation. Brown took the mark, but the umpire said he infringed. Got into the back of his Kangaroos opponent. And the free kick will come back. Goes to Adam Simpson. 6 touch for him. Averaging 26 a game. Towards half forward. Up in front, Rocker got hands to it. Almost brought it to ground. Won it at ground level anyway. Gave it off to King. King goes inside the 50. Chance here for Harding. Has front position. Ashcroft at the back. Harding clever. Twists and turns. Gets onto his right boot. Kicks it across his body. And through for a behind.
Yes, Jason, you mentioned that at the start of the game about his 210. What he tries to do is actually bend the ball. All he needs to do is hold the ball more upright. From there, you just need to kick a drop punt round the corner, don't you?
So Harding has it. The margin back to 12 points. Chris Johnson again with a kick in. Again, they'll go to that outer side of the ground. Johnson, high ball. White has the set, and up he goes and takes a beauty. Darryl White flew over the top of Anthony Stevens and took a ripper. Kicks it around the outer side. Jonathan Brown again wrestling with his opponents. Keating tries to keep it alive, can't do so. We'll have a throw in.
Just watching Darryl White, watching him a bit this year, he has been a bit out of sorts, and I know he's had some family problems and all that sort of stuff, but he looks to be in good nick. He's done a couple of smart things already, hasn't he? Clever things.
Yeah, I think maybe the week down in the reserves has just freshened him up a bit. 5 marks already in the quarter. Teague bursting through. Grant out in front of Rocker. It's certainly within range for big Severio Rocker.
He's done very well there, Justin Lepage. That was marked 1.5 metres inside the 50-metre line. Because he chased him, he's got 1.5 metres on it to make it a 55-metre genuine kick.
23 goals, 15 for the season.
Can't kick this bloke, though, can't he?
Super kick.
Isn't he?
12 points the margin. This will bring it back to just the 1 straight kick, if it is a result of a straight kick. Rocker from 53. Oh, make no mistake about it, it's magnificent.
Good game of footy.
As soon as it left the boot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? You often wonder when you see blokes kick like that, you think as we watch the build-up here, and wonderful finish. Just, we look, see where he marks it. 1.5 metres inside the line. Leppis does well to pinch that yard. Might have worked with somebody else, but not this bloke. Wonderful, wonderful kick. Doesn't need many chances either, does he? If he can kick his 3 or 4, can't he? Not a lot of touches.
So the Kangaroos rally the margin back to 6 points. Back in the middle of the ground. 5.5 minutes remaining. Charman in the ruck. Down to Simpson again. Starting to get busy for the Kangaroos. His 7th touch. Inside the 50. Johnson flew early for Brisbane. Lepich at the back. Bumped off it by Morrell. Coughed it up. Gave it to Clayton. Bends it across his body to Shane Clayton and scores a level at the Gabba. Great finish, Shane Clayton. So the Kangaroos just getting busy around the clearances, Malcolm. We mentioned their power at the stoppages, and they've now got 2 goals from stop plays.
Yes, they have indeed. And he's a terrific interchange player, Shane Clayton. He always comes on and kicks a goal. Yeah, probably gets 2. It's amazing, isn't it? Some blokes have that ability just to join in the game and finish.
Joining the chorus, you might say.
Yeah.
2 very quick goals to the Kangaroos, bring the scores level.
Yeah, Shattuck and Power, 2 not of their knowns, are in the middle of the ground at the moment.
Clearance level.
Yeah.
Yep. Here they go again, the Kangaroos. Grant with some strength, just bangs it forward. Lepich just got to beat Clayton, the 2 23s. Lepich wouldn't be happy with his performance there. White trying to help him out. Back towards Power, just lays it off. Black, Robbins right with him. Well done, Robbins. Stevens spotted a player in the middle, was trying to get it through to King, but Ackermanis provided the smother. We're going nowhere from there. So good intensity by the Kangaroos in the last 4 or 5 minutes. They've been very hard at it when the ball's hit ground level. Porter in the ruck. Up against young Jamie Charman. So both interchange ruckman now on the ground. Power. Heard a call, wanted someone. Stevens was right there for the Kangaroos. Another ball up.
They've seized the initiative, haven't they, Malcolm? Just a bit of body-on-body pressure around close, the Kangaroos.
Yes, and they've kept it a bit tight, haven't they? There's been a few more of these in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
They've been very good away from home this season, the Kangaroos. Give them a sniff in a contest. They find a way to win. Scott got it forward, but it was cut off by Sinclair. Back to Makepeace, in turn to Teague. Player in the middle, standing on his own, is Shannon Grant. Rocker provides a long lead. Still an option. Decides to go longer. At the back, Porter coming across Charman. Porter lost it. Michael, as Malcolm said at the start of the night, very patient player. Lynch. Jonathan Brown running hard for him. Getting back the numbers though, the Kangaroos. Teague dropped into the hole nicely. Somehow it fell to Bradshaw. Over the top he spots Ackermanis. And he takes a very clever mark. Well, so far, Lynch working up the ground. Bradshaw deep in front of goal, as you mentioned, Malcolm. It's paying dividends for them at the moment.
Yes, it is, and it's pretty well done by Ackermanis. Kept his eye on it. Colbert did well too, not to give away the free kick, but good enough with the kick, wasn't it, really?
Ackermanis for his 2nd of the night to put Brisbane back in front. And he is a goal kicker this year, Ackermanis. That's 2. And you would have thought, Malcolm, with the loss of Lappin and Voss, you would have seen more of Ackermanis in the back half trying to cover for Nigel Lappin, but we're seeing him in his, I guess, his customary role kicking goals.
Yeah, well, he's changed on ball here with Luke Power, and they're changing off a half-forward flank, so he's just having his spell up forward. In the meantime, he's done it. He's kicked a couple of goals, so it's been a very, very handy change. Isn't he a confident player now? He's a wonderfully balanced player, and, of course, Brownlow medalist.
So Jason Ackermanis gives the Brisbane Lions a 6-point lead. Dying stage of this opening term, less than 3 minutes remaining. Charman in the ruck against Porter. They go, Charman fisted forward, it comes to Power. Brisbane go inside 50 again. Brown tracks back. Archer crashes through. It spills to Colbert at the back. He dribbles it around his body and finds the boundary line at defensive 50.
Just looking at Colbert get the ball then, I sometimes think with Jonathan Brown, you know, when you're not in sensational form, you play in front. He's very honest in front. Sometimes you actually come from behind, because some guys don't like you playing from behind. I just think sometimes you get in that one-dimensional mode.
Makepeace farms it out to Martin, to Grant. High up and under kick towards the centre of the ground. Going back was Headland with the flight of the ball. Won it at ground level. Little chip kick around the body. Goes to Chris Scott. Scott goes towards half forward. T comes out and creates a contest. Brings it to ground against Shattuck. The back of the pack is Martin. He's got some time. Assesses his options. Decides to square it up. Chips short and finds Makepeace. So Troy Makepeace, his fourth touch coming up. Another short kick up the middle to Simpson. Simpson hands off to Harvey. Corralled by Power. Draws it to him. Little handball over the top to Simpson. He can run it out of defensive 50. Makepeace runs to support, gets the footy, kicks towards half forward, spots Rocker. Beautiful kick, takes it out in front of his eyes. Severio Rocker wants to move it quickly. There's the decoy again, Lee Harding. Worked under it by Ashcroft illegally. And the free kick to Lee Harding. He's been identified as their one-on-one go-to man.
Unnecessary from Ashcroft there, because it beaten him in the context. The kick was a bit too long in the carry, and it was always going to suit him.
I don't know what the crowd's going crook at. It's a push. It was a push, wasn't it?
So Lee Harding, 1-1 for the evening so far. He's been busy. Playing his 13th game of AFL football, Lee Harding, the reverse angle. Similar position to his last set shot goal. And he repeats the dose, almost carbon copy. Sneaks it inside the left post for a goal.
Well, that gap at the back, Rocker, great penetration with the kick, and the kick to Rocker was just exquisite. And gee, doesn't it make it easy for a forward? I mean, if you're prepared to lead, get a kick like that, wheel around, and all of a sudden you've got a one-on-one, anything can happen. And it certainly did then, and a goal resulted.
So 2 goals to Lee Harding.
Just at the moment, there's only one group of players inside the 50-metre circle, as you can see from behind there, for North Melbourne, or Kangaroos, I should say.
Scores level as Robbins gives it off to Simpson. 10th possession already. Fortunate bounce for Digby Morrell.
No one home.
Wheels around the corner. Harding's going to run onto it. He might not need to. It might be a hell of a kick on the left foot from Digby, and it is.
Well,
so for the second time in this quarter, the Kangaroos get 2 goals in a minute. And again, they take it out of the centre nicely. And they have come to play.
and that gap right at the back, amazing, isn't it? As we say, come for the footy, and that's from 55 metres out, lands inside the square, 50-metre kick on the turn. That's a terrific kick.
So Digby Morrell kicks his first goal for the evening, and again we see Lee Harding being the man tracking back towards the goals, just troubling Marcus Ashcroft for pace at the moment.
What they need to do is just try and get someone back behind that group.
And now Lee Harding has been isolated in the goal square for the Kangaroos. He's dragged Des Headland right down to the goal line. The only men inside the 50. But Brisbane get the ball forward from the centre clearance. It comes to McRae. They've got a wide open forward line as well. He goes looking for and finding Daniel Bradshaw wide open. It's a bit of a shootout at the moment out of the middle.
It is, and I just watched that, and Glenn Archer got wrong-footed, and in the end became very easy for Bradshaw.
It's a very clever player, Daniel Bradshaw. Look at the reverse angle. He's already kicked one. Kick on its way. Looks good. Is good. Scores level again at the Gabba. We've got a cracker this evening.
There's been a number of games that you see up here like this. Brisbane just seem to gradually build and then gradually squash, but it'll be interesting with the two that we've mentioned. Great tap from Jarman, wasn't it? Played in front, McRae, and then a beautiful finish. Archer just seemed to lose his footing as he took off, and that was it.
It's been a high-scoring game. Just 132 possessions for 10 goals. So it's been good, direct, attacking football from both sides.
5 goals, 3 apiece. And the way this quarter's finishing up, If you look at the time clock, you see 27 seconds left. That's time for 2 goals. What happens out of the middle here? Sinclair came through. Black, magnificent handball from the ground level. Got it to Ashcroft. Long, Bradshaw, Archer with strength though. Coming across Teague, falls over the back. Still a chance for Bradshaw. Was that a throw? I don't know. Shots, hit the goal. There is time for another one. Umpire paid a free kick anyway, so he was going to get another shot if he missed, but he didn't. Sensational finish in his first quarter here at the Gabba. Goal for goal.
Have you seen many more goals come from hitting that hot spot in this one quarter of football this year, where through that funnel and through that V at centre-half forward, between centre-half forward and full forward, there's just a lot of goals, isn't there? Enormous pressure. Bit of bounce, bit of luck, bit of all this, but the guys running there, running towards goal, finished it off nice.
Well, it's been a goal fest. We've had 7 goals in 10 minutes of football here at the Gabba. And neither side attacking around the wing. They're both going straight down the middle of the ground.
It's great to see, isn't it?
Very exciting football. 2 seconds remaining.
No.
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 Surely not. Charman against Porter. Charman got the final tap. It was the last act of a very entertaining first quarter here at the Gabba. Brisbane take the advantage to the first break. They're 6-3-39. The Kangaroos 5-3-33. Bradshaw 2 goals. Ackermanis 2 goals for Brisbane. For the Kangaroos, Lee Harding has 2 goals. So a wonderful quarter of football. 11 goals scored. Free-flowing, attacking and entertaining. Brisbane coach Lee Matthews makes his way to the huddle. It's exactly the sort of footy we want to see. Brisbane 6-3, the Kangaroos are 5-3. Quarter time, it's the home side by 6 points here at the Gabba.
Saturday, Melbourne and
Quarter time here at the Gabba. Very entertaining opening term. 11 goals scored, 6 to Brisbane, 5 to the Kangaroos. It's the Lions by 6 points. Ackermanis 2 goals, Daniel Bradshaw 2 goals. Lee Harding has 2 goals for the Kangaroos and has looked pretty dangerous when they've isolated him up forward.
They have, haven't they? It was almost like the old Pagans paddock to a degree, wasn't it, that we got used to with players running back into it. As we see Bradshaw kick one of his 2 goals, and he's been on target with his kicking. It's been great. Some of the use of the ball, I think, has been terrific. And here's this wonderful play from Jason Ackermanis. Wonderful kick. No energy required. And here we see, once again, Bradshaw using his pace and guile to get it to Ackermanis. So he's been on the end of a couple, Jason Ackermanis, and probably could have kicked 3 or 4, Matty.
Yeah, he found himself in a couple of holes there and also hit the post, so it's been very dangerous.
So you see Bradshaw there involved in a few goals. He's kicked a couple himself and given a couple off as we look at the stats to quarter time.
Yeah, touches almost equal there, as the game would suggest. Handballs now just a little few more up for the Kangaroos. One I like to see there is inside 50s. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? 18 to 12. But also means that the Kangaroos' backline's playing okay.
Let's hit boundary side now. Here's Bill McDonald.
With one of the Brisbane Lions coaching gurus, Scott McIver. Mate, what was the message from the coach there at quarter time?
Oh, mate, just basically to maintain what we've been doing. I mean, it's been a fantastic game. Just got to keep pressure on them in our forward half. Make sure that we keep the ball in there, because they do have a very cohesive backline. Try and separate them a little bit and don't give them the advantage being able to run the ball out.
Quickly, the feedback on the midfield group. I know Craig Lambert, yourself, a lot of chatting there. What happened there?
Oh, just trying to organise the centre clearances a little bit better. See if we can work something a bit different.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate.
So set to go in the second term. It's the Lions by 6 points. Entertaining contest here at the Gabba. Porter in the ruck up against Charman. Charman got the tap, but only as far as Anthony Stevens. Wheels onto his left boot. Has possession number 3 for Stevens. Quiet in the opening term. Rocker. Clever one-handed mark. Body on body contact. Held his ground. Took a beauty.
Well, they're birthday presents when they stick, really, aren't they? You know, you might take one every 5 weeks, but they're lovely when they come along. Now, we know this won't test his distance with the length of the kick. Accuracy. He's probably a bit better from further out, isn't he? Sometimes he gets a bit wobbly close in.
He's gone a long way back to make sure.
Huge run-up. So Rocker Runs to 55 metres out. Launches it. It's high. It's long. It's straight. It's a magnificent kick for a goal. Severio Roca gets his second and scores level again at the Gabba. And as we spoke about during the opening of the show, Malcolm, if the Kangaroos can just hang in and hang in and hang in, their belief will grow as the night goes on.
Oh, sure, and that's right. If you get some players taking one-handed marks and kicking 60-metre goals, you're going to hang in for a lot longer. But this is, I reckon going back further is better than not going back far enough. He just starts off, gradually gets some momentum, and then just launches. It's just a beautiful kick.
Well, he had 7 goals in the last 10 minutes of the first quarter. It's only taken a minute odd to get the first one. 47 seconds of play.
So that's
it's a goal
really,
feast.
Yeah, 8 and 11 minutes now, is it?
Thanks, Malcolm. Mathematical equations provided by Malcolm Blythe tonight.
He's got the calculator here.
And Simon Black not going anywhere. But very entertaining for this Gabba crowd. Plenty of goals, plenty of direct footy. Straight down the middle. Porter with Charman, but suited Colbert. Here's Grant, or Simpson it was. Charman. Bradshaw. Just got rid of Archer there, and you probably back Archer in the body-on-body contest, Malcolm.
I'm still amazed at what Charman did. The big fella on the ground showed the ball, and then the resultant kick down.
The roost.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't see Archer. Just must nudged him. Here we go. Push, push. Yeah, so he was trying to hang on with his left leg. This may sound silly. He just caught him with his right leg in the air.
Bradshaw for his third. We got another goal here at the Gabba. This is fantastic stuff.
But it's just to explain that, as you're going for the ball, now it's pushing and shoving, you'll see Archer's trying to keep his weight on his left-hand side here. See how that leg's in the air now, and he's gone. So off balance.
And they've made a change, the Kangaroos. Mick Martin has gone to Bradshaw immediately with a bit of physical body-on-body. Charged into him.
And what will happen now is that Bradshaw will come out and Lynch will go back to the goal square.
Yep.
So Daniel Bradshaw kicks his third. And the goals continue to flow here at the Gabba. Individually, Brad Scott 7 possessions, 6 to Black, Bradshaw, Pike and Scott. For the Kangaroos, Simpson with 11 possessions, Shannon Grant with 6. In the middle of the ground again, there's Simpson, possession number 12. Gets it going forward to Clayton. Clayton will go inside the 50, Harding the target again. He's been the man up forward all night, gathers. Mel Michael gets a piece of him. Handball intercepted by Johnson. Comes away from defensive 50. Goes short and finds Chris Scott. Takes the body pressure from Anthony Stevens and takes a strong mark. Wants to play on, called to go now. Squares it up to centre half back and finds Marcus Ashcroft. Runners breaking to the outer side of the ground. Lepic and Michael out there. He elects to go with Lepic. Lepic spears it around the outer flank, looking for Brown. Kick just a little bit too far in front of him and dribbles to the boundary line for a throw in. So it's the Lions by 6 points. Gone 4.5 minutes in this second term. A bit happening off the play here, and it's a free kick for a push to Brent Harvey. And he gets put down again by Brad Scott and will get a 50-metre penalty. So just a little bit of push and shove off the ball as players were assembling for that throw in. Scott's bumped into Harvey. Harvey's gone to ground. The free kick's been paid. Harvey back to his feet. Brad Scott's put him down again, and the umpire said that's 50. Harvey's got it. Inside the 50. Umpire spotted another one off the ball. It's going the other way.
Oh, what?
It's going to Brisbane. It's going to Luke Power.
This is quite strange. 36 players all moved down one end for that 50-metre penalty, and now 28 are moving back the other way.
Why is this happening? He's gone against the grain of the way the game's been unfolded.
Power out wide. Darryl White draws Teague to him. Handball over the top to Shattuck. Can he finish from 35? Chips it over the top and pops it through for his second. Push and shove in the centre. Scott is in there with Harvey. Power in there as well. Harvey and Brad Scott want to go on with it. David King's in there now as well. Plenty of push and shove going on. Archer's in there. This could just accelerate a little bit here. Glenn Archer and Brad Scott, two tough nuts. The umpire now comes in and says settle down. Aaron Shattuck with his second goal. And Brisbane just sweeping it forward off half-back. And again claiming the ascendancy.
Archer now moved up forward too, with McCartney going to the back.
12-point margin. Plenty of feeling in the game now. Keating. Good hands from Ashcroft. Juggled attempt. Good control by Chris Scott. Launches for another one. Plenty of feeling in the game. Certainly plenty of feeling from Chris Scott. Wonderful finish. But all of a sudden, Malcolm, Brisbane a little bit better in the clearances out of the centre. Just a little bit in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Here's the tap and then just finish. I mean, extraordinary. The ruckman hits it down to the Rover kicks the goal.
So Brisbane have suddenly kicked away. The margin 18 points. It's 3-1 in this second term. Plenty of spirit in this contest. And now's the time. Brisbane are so good at putting the grip on, Malcolm. We've seen it so many times. They just get a little bit of a kick, and it's important that the opposition strike back quickly.
Yes, and it'll be interesting to see what their midfield does here. You know, we've mentioned the two boys being out, so that's the time for Kangaroos too to react to this.
Porter against Keating. Number 1 ruckman back in there for Brisbane. Porter got the tap. Pickett will charge onto this one. Little give to Harvey was clever. Quick hands. Harvey explodes away from Pike. Runs to 50. On the left boot, it's an open goal. Harvey bounces it through. Brilliant goal. What a magnificent game of football this is. It's a shootout at either end of the ground. The give from Pickett to Harvey was sensational, and the finish even better.
You couldn't have described it better. Just this, see how he just held the give and then did the block. That's the important thing, to give his teammates some space. And then just a kick to the front of the square, and hopefully it'll bounce through. Why not?
It was a little basketball move also, wasn't it? He set the screen, gave it away, and released him into space.
Sensational game of football here at the Gabba. 16 goals already, and we've only played under 4 minutes of the second quarter. Keating over the top. Whoever wins a centre bounce usually kicks a goal. Kangaroos go forward. Got some numbers there too. Johnson under pressure. Does the right thing, got it out. Keating went without it. Harvey ridden into the ground, free kick.
Roos have just lifted, haven't they?
Burton has gone back into the hole, but he decides to go to Pickett in 2 minds. Second give was a good one, just knocked it out to Simpson. He launches towards the goal square, going back Headland. Read at the best and takes a safe mark. Pushing the ball by Archer. No, play on. Brad Scott to his twin brother and Chris. Both been heavily involved. He wants Bradshaw, who is leading, as Malcolm said, but Colbert just left Brown, did well, cut across and took the mark. Over to Makepeace. Plenty of players to pick from here in the middle. Shannon Grant. Low ball, looking for Rocker. 9-3 to 7-3, and we've seen a couple already from Rocker from this distance.
Yes, and interesting. See the good players when they touch the ball, they hardly ever miss, do they? If they're not under pressure, you just realise how good their skills are. Guys like Grant, who can kick the footy. I mean, really, defenders almost got no chance, unless you're right there.
Well, he's had 2 set shots for goal from outside 50. Both have been spot on, Saverio Rocker. Bradshaw's got 3 at one end. Rocker's looking to get 3 for the Kangaroos to bring them back to just the 1 goal behind. It's all right, it's pretty good. He's got 3. And it continues here at the Gabba. Three to Rocker, 8 to the Kangaroos. Just how many will we get, Malcolm?
Oh, look, I think 20 goals is going to be a possibility for one team tonight at this rate, isn't it? And in modern football, middle of winter, you don't very often see that. But at the Gabba, in the middle of winter, you may see it.
Well, he's on tonight, Sav Rocker. He's kicked 3 straight. Striking the ball beautifully off the boot. And suddenly the Roos are back within a goal. 5 minutes ago we called they needed to lift because that's when Brisbane are dangerous. They've done exactly that. Burton's gone back into the middle. He's won the tap. Here's Pickett again, been creative. Back to Burton. Sold the dummy around Ackermanis. They didn't fall for it. Two of them jumped on his boot. McRae to Ashcroft. To Power on the overlap. High kick. Here comes Shattuck from the back. And up he goes and takes a great mark. Aaron Shattuck just had the sit in from the side of the contest and took a ripper. What a great game.
Well, it was a good call too, because he did have that lace jump on it, didn't he? And he just got up enough. But that's all he had to do.
So Shattuck, 7th possession. He's already kicked 2 goals. We're wondering who is going to step up for Brisbane tonight. So far, this youngster certainly has. 35 metres out, puts it through for goal number 3. So Brisbane answer the call. The margin again back out to 12 points.
Have we had a set shot miss yet?
I think there was one early that someone
just
missed.
a kicking for a goal from set shots from both teams has just been spot on. It's been terrific.
It was actually Byron Pickett, remember, from about 50 metres out.
Yep. Yeah, he just pushed it wide. Yeah.
Just thinking, might be a real low tackle count at the moment. Number of tackles laid in this game so far.
It's been 2 set shot misses, Chris Scott and Byron Pickett, and the tackle count to this stage of the game, it's been free-flowing, 11-9 in favour of Brisbane.
Back in the centre. Big punch from Keating. Good hands Ashcroft, but good tackle by Simpson. Does all the hard work, Simpson. Gets plenty of the ball, as we know. He's already got 14 possessions, but some of his work defensively is excellent for the Kangaroos. It's a complete player.
And the Scott boys have both moved to the top of the stats count, 9 and 8, Chris and Brad for Brisbane.
It's a 2-goal margin. The goals come very quickly on a Saturday night in June here at the Gabba. Aaron Shattuck having a good night. Out in front of Lynch on the lead. Power at the right spot. McCartney fights hard, but there's 4 lines when he knocks it out. One of them is Martin Pike. He goes around the body. That won't be a goal. It's a bit of an anticlimax for a point here at the moment. They stretch the margin out to 13 points. Lynch almost got that, and Power almost got the crumb.
As you see this, I always figure the guy running by, just give it back to him. He didn't need to actually grab hold of the footy. The umpire will pay it then.
First behind of the quarter after 7 straight goals, 4 to the Lions and 3 to the Kangaroos. The margin now 13 points. McCartney from the kick in, received from King. Thumps it long around the outer wing. Porter to fly from the back. Keating in front. Porter got enough of it, took the mark. Play on, it's a frenetic pace here at the Gabba. Sinclair to Simpson, to Robbins, back to Sinclair. 55 out, squares it up. Rocker at the back, a couple to beat. Goes one-handed, couldn't quite bring it down. Copeland to tidy up for Brisbane. Little handball wide, finds Pike. Pike a high kick. Porter goes up, juggles it, off his face, off his chest, onto the ground. Tried to win it at ground level from Chris Scott. Robbins, met solidly by Copeland, set up Blakey. He's crash tackle. Johnson came in spectacularly. T, the little release to Makepeace. He runs to 45 metres. It's an open goal. Makepeace hits the post. Well, this game is moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Blink and you miss it at the moment. The football's flying from one end to the other. Plenty of shots at goal. And Troy Makepeace will be a little disappointed with that. It just faded to the right-hand side of its trajectory and hit the post. The margin back to 2 goals. 10-4 to 8-4. Lepich with the kick in. Goes short to the back pocket and finds Headland. Headland, 6th possession to the defensive 50. Here's Ackermanis. His 6th possession coming up also. His first touch for the second term, Jason Ackermanis. We've played almost 15 minutes. Ackermanis plays on, runs around Pickett. Kicks towards the wing. Brown and Colton wrestle. They were hanging on to each other. The umpire somehow finds a free kick and it goes to Jonathan Brown. Always contentious ones, those.
It is, but certainly both players went to do the same thing. That's where I'd actually like to see him play from behind, just occasionally, just to break it up. Let's make it.
Brown goes looking for the Lynch-McCartney contest. It spills to the back. Black dribbles it, soccers it. The weight of momentum carries it through from behind to Simon Black. The Lions 10-5-65. The Kangaroos are 8-4-52. The margin is 13 points. We've gone 15 and a half minutes in this second term.
And Matty, it's got careless. 3 points in a row.
Something has to be done, Malcolm. Here's Mickey Martin. Wide to Grant. Still over 11 minutes remaining in this first half as Grant hugs it up the boundary. Good mark to Digby Morrell. Long lead and took it out in front. Wants to move it on quickly. It's an open forward line once again. Headland goes back for the second time in this quarter. That move's probably working so far for Lee Matthews. The switch with Ashcroft. They switch the play here. Johnson uses Hart. Pickett closed beautifully. But here's Hart. Started on the bench to Bradshaw. He wheels around the circle. He's got Leppich, who's run down. Finds him. Will he play on? Yes. From 55, he unloads to the goal square. One-on-one. Lynch and McCartney over the back. Well rushed through by Lee Colbert. 4 behinds in a row. Great attacking Australian rules football by both teams.
Interesting if you get a stopwatch on footy now, say to 10 years ago, and see the ability of the kick out and how quickly it gets from one into the other. Be almost twice as quick, I reckon, in 10 years.
Well, here they go once again. Harvey gets it to King. Loves to run. Goes direct, straight up the middle. Wants Simpson. Just a little bit too much on the kick, so it suited Shattuck. He goes wider to Brad Scott. Undecided. Goes long. McCartney and Lynch. Should suit McCartney there. Good punch. Down in front, Ashcroft. Free kick off the ball, going to Sean Hart. Well, there's the signal from Derek Humphrey-Smith. Too high. Just as Marcus Ashcroft was about to take that shot on goal, Sean Hart finds himself 30 metres out, almost directly in front. Hasn't scored this season. The Norm Smith medalist for his first score of the year, and it's a goal. His first, the Lions' 11th.
Just that nice little break now, isn't it? That pressure mounting as half-time nears. And the Kangaroos have acted really well, I reckon, under pressure the first part of this quarter. They really need to hang on here and just fight back for this, whatever's left of this second quarter.
So the margin now out to 20 points, 9.5 minutes remaining in the term. Again, the Kangaroos are going to have to dig deep. The Brisbane Lions with a little mini break for the third time in this game. The Roos have responded twice. Can they go again? Shattuck. Ball's fisted forward to Scott. They're running hard. Here's Pike. Front edge of the square. Here's Ackermanis. 48 metres out. Drills it home.
Post again.
For a poster. Thanks, Jason. 2 goals, 2 to Jason Ackermanis. And how many times have we seen it out of the middle of the ground tonight, just straight down one end? You'd be disappointed with that finish. I know I am. Makepeace goes short to half back and finds Anthony Stevens. He goes around the outer side. Charman from behind, tried to mark. Comes to ground, here's Pike. Gets around onto his right boot. Hugs the boundary line. Ackermanis and Stevens both slide over. The ball goes out for a throw-in.
How's Pike's form this one?
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
He's just been in terrific, Nick, hasn't he?
Yep.
Positive running, used the footy, played up forward.
Versatile.
Yeah.
Averaging 18 touches a game, the 29-year-old. Having a super year. And a very good 2001 as well. Played all 22 games. It's 5th in possessions, Martin Pike. Just sneaks up on you, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's right behind the quality midfield.
There's Mark Porter having a spell. Both ruckmen from both teams been thrown around this evening. It's been an interesting battle between the two coaching panels. Brown puts his hand up and says we're going to fist it towards the line. Ends up coming to Jonathan Brown. Tries to keep it alive. Slung it out. Umpire said he threw it. The free kick will come back to Lee Colbert.
It was really a shovel, wasn't it? And now I don't see anywhere in the book that says a shovel's a free kick. If you know what I mean.
Colbert.
So you're calling a spade a spade?
Spade, yeah.
Beautifully done. It was left there. Had to take it. Colbert goes long towards the wing. Burton flies. Doesn't have to fly that high really to soar over the pack. Spills to the back. Black. Shattuck. Hurried kick. Chance for Stevens to run onto it. Spun around. Tried to handball past Simon Black. Comes to Ackermanis. Certain inevitability about that one. Came to Chris Scott. Spears it for Lynch. And he takes it right out in front of his eyes. Brad Scott comes charging down the ground. It is on his own about 20 metres out, but Alastair Lynch will go back and have a shot for goal from about 45 metres out. Beautiful kick. Nothing Jason McCartney could do there whatsoever. And here's Alastair Lynch, the reverse angle. Yet to score this evening. Kick on its way. It's high and it's straight. He snuck it home. Another goal to Brisbane. Lynch gets his first, and again we see they're just so dangerous when they can just run hard through the middle of the ground.
One of the great things about all this play was the quick hands of Ackermanis when he eventually ends up with the footy, but also just the weight of the kick from Chris Scott. It was just beautiful, wasn't it? Just laid out on the table, almost put it on the plate for him, as you would say, and not at hard mark at all. Just had to present himself, and he did it well for his first goal.
First goal to Alastair Lynch. He has now changed with Brad Shaw, so Brisbane have got 4 out of their 4 forwards so far tonight. Margin out to 27 points. Largest of the evening so far as Pickett drives it forward. Rocker trying to keep it alive if he can. Morell's there to help him out. Here's Digby. Lepich burrowing in hard. Harvey. Stevens there with him.
Seems like Brisbane's had all the play in this second term, Malcolm, but the inside 50 is amazingly only 11-9 in favour of the Lions.
Yeah, the back line's just tightened up a bit for Brisbane. Headland's been good, you know, just stopped Harding a couple of times cold.
Keating over the top. Ackermanis doesn't take it cleanly. Power pickpockets Harvey, and then tries to search for the boundary line to relieve the pressure. Does so outside his defensive 50.
Starting to win the ball around the stoppages too, aren't they, Brisbane, which is where North was so good in the first quarter.
Sure.
27 points. Aaron Shattuck, the leading possession winner for Brisbane, with 11. Burton has been very good in the ruck. They've looked more dangerous when Burton's been in the ruck, the Kangaroos. Robbins searching for Pickett. Chris Scott, perhaps a bit of a square up, and it's going to cost him a free kick. Chris Johnson now.
Just tell him
Just going to tell him, hey, come on, let's settle down here, guys. None of the show pony stuff. Let's get back to the good footy you're playing.
I'd rather see that happen than sometimes what you see.
Yeah, smart umpiring.
Yeah.
Pickett backs himself from outside 50. The crowd will tell you the story.
Actually, Matty, in saying that, though, I mean, you really shouldn't touch a bloke in the face, should you? I mean, no matter what happens, that is a certain free kick. Not a problem with that.
No, not at all.
And
Headland saves Johnson. His heart was in his mouth as Sinclair came across. Martin goes back. Good mark, Nicky. Strong mark backing into Jonathan Brown.
So the Roos, they trail by 26 points. Just under 6 minutes remaining. They need a goal or two here just to maintain that belief coming into half-time. Can't let Brisbane slip any further in front. Pickett, a big screen laid for him by Digby Morell. Illegally, said the umpire. Free kick to Justin Lepich. So Lepich, 6 possession for him coming up. Goes short to Power, coming up for his 8th touch. Just chips it over the top. Chris Johnson just drifted forward, takes the mark adjacent to the centre circle. 26 points is the margin. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Plenty of players flooded back now. In fact, Johnson, only 4 players behind him. Thumps it long. Lynch at the back. Up he goes. Hits the ground. It's all Kangaroos. Simpson to tidy up, gives it to Stevens. Ackermanis came from behind to put some pressure on. Kick towards the line, doesn't find it. Bolton on for his first run. Pumps it back inside 50. Lynch, Simpson gets across. Fist it to the line. And we will have a throw in. It was interesting, Malcolm. They'd flooded forward, but there was just a mass of players across the 50, and Lynch actually had some space over the back to work in.
Yeah, it's worked pretty well. That's if the forward line's cohesive. You just get everyone out the area.
Alastair Lynch just crashing into the fence there. Burton got the tap down to Colbert. Back to Burton. Ricochets off his face. Hart towards Martin. It was an awkward bouncing ball. Did enough. Tapped it on to David King. Searching kick towards half forward. Lepich just charges out. Wants to play on and go. Handball to Hart. Hart goes to Headland. Pickett tries to step around him. That's optimistic at best. Back to Hart. Spears the pass again. Brilliant disposal. And here's Aaron Shattuck, possession number 12, averaging just 6 a game, and he's already racked up 12 for the evening. Kicks long. Brown over the top. Got hands to it, sock it off the ground. Spider just got down and got a finger on it, and it's through for a rush behind. Action-packed contest. Big marks, players flying in all directions. We see here it spills to the back. Off the ground there from Black. Spider Burton tracked it back, just got a finger to it, and it's through from behind. The margin now 27 points.
A long way down for Spider. Did it beautifully, didn't he? Martin, he goes short in turn to Clayton. He goes long, looking for Burton. Doing it at both ends, Spider. Good mark. Looks upfield. What's his options? Long. Out on a long lead, Morrell. Lepic right with him. Good strong mark though to Digby Morrell. And once again, Malcolm, they've worked it quickly from the 50 metres from the kick in. A little bit of undisciplined play there. They're deciding to go on with it.
I was going to reverse it.
Reversed it.
Silly play from the Wolves.
Unbelievable.
Kick the goal and then worry about it later, surely.
Digby Morrell was going to the goal line to kick the goal. Now there's a turnover. Seen it a couple of times already tonight. Copeland. Dennis Pagan, as well he'd be upset.
Well, of course he should be.
God.
I mean, you just shouldn't touch blokes. I mean, I know some of them are soft and not right, but...
Headland. This would be terrible for Dennis Pagan if they kick a goal here. Lovely finish from Headland to find Lynch.
He's played some quarter, Des Headland.
Yep. So Lynch, who got one from the other side of the ground, a little bit further out this time. The distance won't be a problem for him. It is just a question of accuracy for his second of the quarter. For the 7th for the quarter for the Lions. Not bad. Not good enough. Just the behind.
Jess Sinclair on the bench.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next. Shattuck, leading kick getter, or touch possession getter for Brisbane. Odds on that. And Headland now with 10, 6 this quarter.
Yeah.
2 of their young guns.
We've answered the question, who's going to step up? At the moment, Shattuck and Headland really enjoying their opportunities this evening. King, the give and go, he gets it back to centre half forward. Teague's the target, he's drifted forward, and Mark's just outside 50. David Teague decides to thump it long towards the square. Harvey there, Rocker there. Up goes big Severio Rocker. Vice-like hands. And Mark's no more than 5 metres out directly in front.
It's been good, hasn't he? Just presented himself. That's a good mark, isn't it? Mal Michael is not easy to beat under any circumstances, so that's a really good grab.
You mentioned he doesn't need many chances. Stats there on screen. He's coming up for his 7th touch and should kick his 4th goal.
When you can kick it 65, 70 metres, I suppose. You don't need many, do you?
So when he comes, point blank range, Severio Rocker, important kick this one for the Kangaroos. And he converts. So we mentioned the Kangaroos just needed a goal or 2 before half-time. Severio Rocker gets his 4th, his 3rd for the quarter, and the margin back to 22 points.
Yeah, that's a really good stretch against quality opposition. And sometimes I worry about that when he gets that ball in that area, but that was good. Michael almost got caught between a push and a punch, didn't he? And really nothing happened.
4 goals to Severio Rocker, 27 for the season. Important goal for the Roos. Get it back to within 22 points as half-time is approaching. But what we've seen already this game, 1 minute 40, plenty of time for more score. Scott lost it, Black. Great smother, Stevens. Here go the Roos, Robbins, Grant, Harvey. The midfielders all combined. Clayton goes backwards. Poor kick, cutting it off Michael. Still a chance the Roos though. Cochrane on the ground, Lepic. Got to beat Morrell. Hart. Not the clean take he was looking for. He gets a second effort though. Will he keep it in? No. Boundary throw in. Lions 12-9, the Roos 9-5. Charman's got to beat Burton, but Burton too good, but it falls for Ackermanis. Crowd rise as soon as Ackermanis gets near the ball. Brown's got to beat a couple. In front was Simpson. Hart roves well. Bradshaw and Martin, 1-on-1. Play on, good call. Martin wrapped up by Bradshaw. No one going anywhere, and it'll be a ball up just outside the Lions forward 50. We're inside the last minute of this first half. Is there time for a goal for either side? 21 for the half. Simpson, possession number 17, doesn't get far though. It's got some support. Makepeace. Headland and Teague. Headland doesn't get a kind bounce, and it goes over for another boundary throw-in. Jess Sinclair with Lee Harding and Mark Porter on the bench for the Kangaroos. Burton, clever once again. King, only as far as Headland, as Malcolm said, having a terrific second quarter, but he doesn't want to take on the entire forward line. He took on Pickett and Rocker with the switch. Michael was good enough for Brisbane. Out to Bolton. Bolton on centre wing. Time beats him and the Brisbane Lions. But certainly a very entertaining first half here at the Gabba. Severio Rocker has 4 goals at one end for the Kangaroos. Bradshaw has 3 with Shattuck at the other end for the Lions. 12-9-81. They lead the Kangaroos 9-5-59. 22-point margin in what has been basically a shootout here at the Gabba.
That's 6 goals, 6 Brisbane kicked that quarter to 4 goals 2. So, I mean, there is a number of more shots. They've had more entries, of course, inside 50, but nevertheless a really entertaining game of footy. And here at the Gabba.
It's a wonderful contest. At half-time, it's a 22-point margin. The Brisbane Lions lead the Kangaroos. Half-time here at the Gabba. Fantastic game. If you're just joining us, get comfortable on the couch because this is an absolute ripper. The margin is 22 points at half-time. 12-9-81 to 9-5-59. That margin probably not really reflective of the game, Malcolm, because both sides can score so quickly. Rocker with 4 goals, Bradshaw 3, the major goal scorer, along with Shattuck for Brisbane.
It has been as entertaining a game you've seen all year. Look, I think the 22-point margins is probably fair. I think Brisbane have actually been able to kick more goals quickly than what the Kangaroos have, but there's only been that much in it. I mean, you're only talking a goal or 2 at each quarter.
Exactly. The Roos could be back within level by 5 minutes into the third term the way it's been. As we look at some of the highlights, and haven't there been plenty? Aaron Shattuck, hasn't he been sensational? 12 possessions in the opening half. As I mentioned during the call, up until this year, he's only been averaging 6 touches a game.
Yes, and Ackermanis there in for one of his couple of goals. He's been exciting when he's gone. This is Morel. He's done a nice tackle. He's done a nice kick for goal. He's taken a couple of nice marks. I mean, I think as a player, he's coming.
He's got everything you want this game. There's been some great marks, some wonderful goals, good, tight, fierce tackling and some hard running. It's been wonderful. Bradshaw's been good. He's kicked 3 goals in the opening half. Just goes about his business, doesn't he, Daniel Bradshaw?
He does. And what we've mentioned a couple of times in the call, Jason, was that the kicking for goal's been good from set shots. Some of the snapshots have missed, as we always know that's going to happen. But look at that, some lovely long goals too. I'd hate to think how many have gone over 50 metres. It'd be as many as any in a game I've seen this year.
I'll get back to you on that one. The 2 Scott boys have been good. Brent Harvey dribbling a goal through. As always, he's an important player. Hasn't had a lot of the football, though, Brent Harvey, in this opening half of footy. But, again, he's been important with the touches that he has had.
Yes, he has. And that forward line, they've rotated through full forward, just trying to expose different players up the ground. And so, I mean, the full forward spot has kicked, 4 goals in a half.
And you look at the Kangaroos, Dennis Pagan would be a little disappointed at the 22-point margin, as we mentioned, just in the second half of that second term. The Kangaroos just fell off the pace just a little bit. Brisbane just turned it up a little bit, but nothing wrong with this man here tonight, Severio Rocker. 4 goals, and as we mentioned during the call, he's on.
Yes, and he is. It's the best game I've seen him play for a while, actually. Once again, not in so much the touches, but he's actually tried to run down a couple of players. He's even tried to chase slippage. The thing that Dennis would be disappointed about, a couple of undisciplined free kicks turned the ball back over to Brisbane when they were about to have a shot at goal. Take that one out, the one they missed, and it's really only a goal game.
So Severio Rocker, so dangerous because he can kick it 60, 70 metres out from goal. And there's David Teague again, Rocker running hard, both with really open forward lines too, isn't it? There's been plenty of flooding in this game in terms of players just running hard through the midfield, but they haven't been stationary in the defensive 50s.
No, I think you're right. It's been an attacking flood, and that sounds silly, but a lot of players running forward, of course, try and create their own space in their forward line.
We look at the match stats to half-time, the Brisbane Lions with a fair few more kicks, but it's balanced up by the Kangaroos, who have handballed a lot more tonight.
What about contested possessions, 54 each, and uncontested, 80 each? Have you ever seen that in a game of footy? No, I haven't, but we have now. The key one there, I think, Kangaroos, 3 extra centre breaks, and they've all been damaging when that's happened, and finally inside 50. Yeah, look, the Kangaroos don't handle the ball as much as most other teams and go much more direct, but Brisbane just that little bit in front.
Inside 50s that quarter, just 15-12. Time for a break here at the Gabba. After the break, we'll catch up with injured Lions skipper Michael Voss.
They've had a weekend dark, but Port are ready to power on against the Tigers this Sunday at Football Park.
Gets on the left foot and kicks another one.
Port Adelaide give Richmond their due on Fox Footy Channel this Sunday.
Introducing the limited edition Patrol Plus. You get the powerful 3-litre turbo diesel or the new 185 kilowatt petrol engine.
The Gabba, the margin is 22 points in favour of Brisbane. They led by 6 points at quarter time, kicked 6 goals to 4 in that second term to take a 22-point lead into the main break. Well, one player who would dearly love to be out there tonight, he's suffering from osteitis pubis, had an operation a week and a half ago, is Brisbane skipper Michael Voss. He's boundary side with our own Matthew Campbell.
Thank you, Jason. Michael, first up the game. How are you enjoying the shootout?
Yeah, it's turned out a bit like that at the moment. Both forward 50s seem to be catching it a fair bit, and you know, some great displays of marking out there in terms of contested marking, that's for sure.
Your adductor release, that's the official, I guess, name for your injury. How's it coming along, and what's the best case scenario for your return to this team?
Best case is probably Richmond at this stage, round 15, so that's obviously away, and which is not too bad. I mean, that's probably still about 4.5 weeks out of the game. So yeah, it's not too bad when you look at it on face value.
Were you forced into it with the timing of you just couldn't keep playing as the way you were, or was it okay? We've got a week off, split round, a few games at the Gabba. You had to do it now if you weren't going to do it later on.
Well, in the end, I didn't really have a choice. It was a matter of what I was going to do, whether I just rested or whether I had the operation. And I guess that's what we had to weigh up, the pros and cons of, okay, how long it's going to be out having the operation, how long it's going to be out if we do something else. And it pretty much worked out to be exactly the same time. So we just thought, well, let's bite the bullet, let's fix it. It's means to an end, so let's get out of it.
You played 187 games. Your midfield mate, Nigel Lappin's played exactly 187 games. Did he just think, no, I want to play my 200th with Michael, I won't play this week?
Well, on Monday when he did actually do it, I thought I'd go over and lift his spirits a bit and said, mate, what are you doing? You want to play your 200s with me, do you? But got a slight smile on his face, but not too long, let me tell you. But yeah, look, I mean, it'd be great to have him out there. And look, I mean, if it did so work out, there was 200 with him, it'd be fantastic because I think no better player to do it with.
Now, you are a high-profile player, the captain of the Brisbane Lions here in Brisbane. You've got a few weeks off. What are you doing a bricky's labourer job? What do you got a brick in your hand for?
Well, mate, I do a bit of promotion here, but we've got the Premiership Walk, and anybody out there can purchase one of these bricks. You get your name on the brick, and that'll go out at front of gate 2 there, so for history. And you'll be there, and you'll be able to show your kids your name and that you're associated with the Brisbane Lions at that time.
And as the Premiership captain, you've had to sign many things. You've just about signed everything, bar the Magna Carta. You've had to sign football memorabilia. There's a big picture just over here as well we've got to look at. So what's going on with the memorabilia?
Yeah, well, we have the Premiership painting, which is over there, and I feature 5 times, so I suggest you go get it. So I've got one. But yeah, I mean, it's a Premiership painting. It's absolutely fantastic. It's just the day of different, all the players and different things during the day. And yeah, we've signed a heap of things in terms of Premiership memorabilia. So there's plenty out there. We have a gala auction in August, and so that should be a big day. And so if you can get out there and just purchase something of that little bit of a historic day, I suggest you get out there and do it.
Captain's job's never done. Thanks, Michael. Good luck with your recovery. And as we head back to the second half shortly, will the shootout continue? We'll find out after the break.
They've had a weekend.
Half time here at the Gabba. The margin is 22 points. There's Justin Lepich addressing his side, the acting skipper this evening. We'll finally get that out. We'll head down boundary side now. Bill McDonald.
Well, talk about Brisbane Lions supporters. It's pretty cool out here. We're getting down to about 7 or 8 degrees, but it's not too cool as we switch over here to Rob Kolak to show your support and your allegiance to your club. Have a look at that. No dimples on that back. Now, Rob, tell us about this. What's the story?
Okay, I've been a Fitzroy supporter for a long time. I loved it when they went to Brisbane. Okay, we didn't lose the side, but I've always wanted to have a Fitzroy, a lion tattoo, so this is what we've got, mate. And after the grand final, what better way to go?
Okay, thanks for joining us. Good luck in your life then. Appreciate it.
Gee whiz, it's a fair tattoo. You're going to get a lion tattoo. He hasn't gone for the small one on the ankle or anything. He's spread it right across his back.
See what happens if Brisbane win another flag. Where does he put it?
On his chest, I suppose. Individually leading stat getters for both sides, Malcolm. Adam Simpson, 18 possessions to half-time. 11 to Grant, 11 to King. We mentioned Brent Harvey, just the 7 for him to half-time.
Yes, he's broken clear a few times, but hasn't been as damaging as often as he would have liked, I'm sure.
And Anthony Stevens just 6 to half-time as well. Down on his average. He's averaging 21 possessions a game this season. Almost set to go here for third quarter action. Aaron Shattuck, the leading stat getter for Brisbane, he has 12. Headland 11, Brad Scott 11, Pike and Chris Scott 10 apiece. So third quarter action. It was a wonderful first half. Brisbane lead by 22 points as we start the third term. Charman mistimed his jump. Burton took it out of the ruck, thumps it high and long inside the 50. Rocker out of that contest. How did he take that mark? It's landed on his chest. And Severio Rocker has kicked 4 straight this evening and could just continue this trend of goal sprees and have another one in the opening minute.
Yes, it was terrific, Mark. All the Kangaroo players went back to Big Spider Burton in the middle of the ground then. I mean, 10 of them ran to him as that little push. Great awareness of the player coming in at him.
Very strong Severio Rocker. Held off 2 opponents there. Takes the mark. As I mentioned, he's kicked 4 straight for the evening. This one from about 30 metres out, more or less directly in front. In he comes. On its way. Kicks through it superbly and puts it through for his 5th goal. Just the start Dennis Pagan and his team were looking for. The margin now back to 16 points. And all important in the context of this game.
It is, isn't it? It's the trend of the game, isn't it? There will be goals kicked and they'll be kicked quickly. Spider. The team love that. See that pack in the middle there? There's a huge amount of players in that centre half forward area. And luck, call it what you like, but Rocker never took his eye off the footy.
Amazing the impact, just mistiming your jump in the ruck contest. It's just cost them a goal, just like that.
I was going to make the comment that Charman's come out to start this half, not Keating.
Yeah, he's very good in the first half though, Charman.
Oh yeah.
He's earned that right. But the Kangaroos have kicked the last goal before half-time and the first in this third quarter to get it back to 16 points. Burton. Black kept his hands free, wanted Brad Scott. He gets it. A couple of shepherds provided. That kick is an awkward one. McCartney goes back for the Roos, slaps it down. It's a free kick. It's going to Brisbane. It's against Glen Archer and it's going to Aaron Shattuck. Shattuck drives it long. Lynch and Bradshaw and Brown, the 3-pronged attack. The best man on the ground. And he'll get a 50 metres. That's Adam Simpson. Pike thought he was off. Umpire hadn't called that he'd played on yet. So the 50 goes to Adam Simpson.
It's a difficult one, that, isn't it? You know, you're right there. The player starts to move offline, so you grab him.
Rocker. He's got it again. He is marking everything inside the forward 50. He's giving Mount Michael a towel.
Well, this at the time, perhaps Alistair Lynch, he's only kicked the 1 goal. Not so much his fault, but perhaps he might be the strength of the body that's needed now, just to stop this confidence building that Rocker's giving to the rest of the Kangaroo players.
6 kicks, 5 goals. This for 3 in a row for the Roos. Distance will not be a problem. He's been spot on all night. It's coming off the boot beautifully. This one is just hanging left on him. It's just blotted his copybook. And the umpire in the goal square signalled a free kick. And it is going to the Kangaroos from right in front. So regardless of what happened with Rocker's kick, it's going to be a goal to the Roos. It's going to be to Brent Harvey, and they will get back to 10 points. Right back in this game, the Kangaroos. Harvey, for the easiest of goals, for his second, 3 in a row to the Roos.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what happened there, whether something was a free kick on the goal line.
Umpire signalled it was across the face.
As we look at Sharman here, just standing near the goal umpire, you can see him, Harvey, and then pushes him in the face. Well, once again, to the letter of law, it is a free kick.
Sure is.
And why do players do that? I mean, it's just so frustrating.
Great camera work there from the Fox footy team. And the free kick there given right on the goal line for Harvey. Just caught one right on the goal line from Sharman and makes them pay.
Right on cue, Alistair Lynch is now on Rocker.
Out of the middle, here go the Roos. Burton inside the 50. King comes out and attacks it through his hands. Sinclair just got a sniff at the moment, the Roos to King. Steps around an opponent from 50. Flying shot up goal from King going right to the line and shepherded through. A goal, they've got another one. Well, the Roos have answered all night. 3 times the Brisbane Lions have kicked away, and 3 times now the Kangaroos have fought back. They've got the opening 3 goals of this third term, and suddenly the margin back to just 4 points. At half-time, we did say within 5 minutes the scores could almost be level. Look at it, 4 points.
Yeah, David King's actually up forward. There's been so much going on with these moves going on that it just couldn't quite get that in, but he's actually playing up forward in that huddle, along with Harvey, Rocket, Pickett, Morrell and Harding back on the ground. So there's some goals in that forward line now for the Kangaroos.
3 quick ones, 4 points the margin. Only 2.5 minutes of play in this quarter gone already. Keating has now come on. Charman's been replaced. The Roos right on top in the centre. Keating with the punch. Not far enough. Here they go once more. Grant needs a kind bounce. Doesn't get it, but he managed to just force it towards Makepeace. Around the corner, Morrell's got 3 or 4 metres on Leppich. Should have taken the mark. Now, Leppich, patient. Got it forward somehow. Black. Rebounds. Fortunate for Ackermanis. Plays in the middle, but he's got Chris Scott on the wing. Scott towards Hart. Cutting in and spoiling his Cochrane for the Kangaroos. They've got their tail up.
Pike now on the forward line for Brisbane, which is a move that Lee Matthews has made a few times this year.
Boundary throw in just outside the Lions forward 50. Plenty of players around the ball. Burton just punches it straight back out. Almost 8 or 10 players in the vicinity of where the boundary throw-in had arrived.
Wide open at the Kangaroos end, isn't it? Rocker just drifting back into the forward 50 now.
Copeland with King. Morrell on Leppich. And as Malcolm mentioned, Lynch has gone back to Rocker. Cochrane off one step. Power has to beat Harvey, does so. He's not going to get the ball back from there. Harvey will feign to pick it up, just plays with his lace, as he should. Never give the ball back if you don't have to. Luke Power swings on the left. That's a poor kick. He just bombed that up in the air. See if anyone can catch it. Brown attacked it. Robbins was the crummer. Good gift to Sinclair. In turn, he went towards Burton. Cochrane, wrapped up by a couple of lines. Falls free to Hart, round the body. All Kangaroos, though. Makepeace, strong mark. Wants to switch quickly. Couple of players to pick from. McCartney can stroll along. Lazy play out of the back 50, just waiting for options. Then goes short, did well. He was patient with the ball. Robbins. Wide, Harvey, too fast. Another goal from the Roos here. We'll see them in front. Grant, sliding mark, too far out to kick a goal.
Around 100 metres to get that, Matthew.
Yep.
Just ran hard.
Now swings on the left. Wants Rocker. Good kick out in front. He lost Lynch. Just coming over the top. A push is the decision by the umpire. And Rocker will go back for number 6. But more importantly for the Kangaroos, he goes back to put them in front.
Thought he'd nearly done enough there, Alistair Lynch, to knock it away. I mean, Rocker was good. The stretch was great.
50 metres. So undisciplined play. I'm not sure what the 50 was for.
Here he goes. We watched the jump. It's a good stretch. Just... He did call it for a push, didn't he?
Push in the back was the decision. Yeah. Regardless of that, he's about to kick his 6th goal. He's about to put the Kangaroos 2 in front with all the momentum, having kicked the first 4 goals of the second half. Certainly taking his time.
Distance shouldn't be a problem from here, Matthew.
Very good point, Jason. I'm glad you pointed that out to me. Wasn't the best of kicks, but he did enough. 6 goals to Severo Roca, and the Roos are in front.
An amazing turnaround, but it's one of those games, isn't it? It just looks as though one team will get a run on, and the other one will come back. So right now what we're looking for is the Brisbane reaction to this. And there's still good enough players out there and enough structure in the team for that to happen. It's a quality contest.
Good test now for some of the Brisbane youngsters.
Yeah.
This is the sort of time Michael Voss would step up and do something special. Just take control of the situation.
You think of Simon Black, who hasn't had a big influence on the game. It's a time for that young veteran already, almost.
Just the 10 touches to Simon Black. Can they step up in the absence of their skipper and Nigel Lapp, and the Roos are in front by 2 points. It's game on here at the Gabba. Harvey's been outstanding early in this 3rd term. Gets it inside the 50 again. Here's David King running onto it. Snaps it back across his body to the danger zone. Back goes Spider. Brilliantly done, Justin Leppich. Bounces off the contest and bounds away towards the members' wing. And the mark taken by Chris Johnson. Has a runner inside. It's Copeland. Decides to ignore him. Now goes towards him. Draws 2 players towards him. It's Ashcroft. Back to Johnson. Johnson will go inside the 50. The man we just spoke about, Black. And the other one we just spoke about, Harvey. And the ball goes to the line for a throw-in. Well, we've mentioned at the start of the show that Brisbane haven't been under a lot of pressure at home across those 16 games that they've had straight here, Malcolm. Good test for them here this evening.
It is. It is indeed.
Great chance for Lee Matthews to see what some of his youngsters are made of. Burton got the tap back towards the line. Brown. Still plenty of class and experience in this side. We'll have a throw in.
Darryl White up forward.
Both sides ringing the changes. This quarter possession's 22-12 in favour of the Kangaroos. Burton got the tap down again. Keating put his body on the line. Makepeace tries to wrap him up. Comes out to Chris Scott. High kick towards the goal square. It's bouncing back towards the goal line. Martin and Bradshaw. A trip's been paid and it's going to Bradshaw. So the Brisbane Lions will reclaim the lead. Mickey Martin's not happy. He's saying, have a look at the replay. So we will, Mick.
Well, there's 1 for each, 2 for each, and then...
Have a look at the replay. Good on you, Mick.
Bradshaw for goal number 4. Pops it through, and Brisbane are back in front.
Well, I think what Mick was probably going crook at there was the initial contact. Bradshaw grabbed a hold of him, and then Mick secondly to him, and then I think the 3rd and final one was Mick's, though, well and truly. There's Bradshaw trying to push back, and there's Mick. You'd be disappointed if you're a forward and you never got that.
Mick not looking at the replay.
Bradshaw with 4, the Lions back in front. 4 goals to 1 in this quarter so far. Goals continue to come freely. Over the top, Keating. Sinclair comes off his line quickly. Stevens. Wide. Running hard, Makepeace. McRae chased, but Makepeace was equal to it. Grant wants King. Out in front of Copeland. He's got Pickett, this kick short. Pickett's all on his own in the pocket. And Byron Pickett will mark. Take the shot from about 40 metres. Tight angle. Tough pocket to kick goals from here at the Gabba. Ball tends to slide away in front of the goal.
I think we used to call this the wrong quadrant here, Matthew, didn't we?
This was the wrong quadrant, Malcolm. Well done.
Yeah.
The wrong quadrant to be in. But Pickett to put the Roos back in front for his first for the evening. The quadrant's got hold of him. And he's kicked it behind. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but we've spoken about that a couple of times, haven't we, Mount? It's hard to kick goals from there. 3 behinds now to Byron Pickett.
So Chris Johnson with the kick in. Will he again go to the outer side, as we've seen most of the time this evening? The margin now 3 points in favour of Brisbane. Decides to come to the members' flank. Headland his target.
Kick.
Beautiful kick. He had 2 players converging on him, Harding and Sinclair. Headland takes the mark. Towards the wing. Aaron Shattuck, 14th touch, second for the quarter. High kick towards half forward. Brown tried to take the one-hander. Colbert works on hands and knees. Black in there working hard. Cochrane gets hold of it for the Kangaroos. Hurried kick towards half forward. Sinclair runs onto it. Will keep it in. Has Grant. Uses him now. 55 metres out from goal. Grant just chips it into space. Lee Harding drifts across and takes the mark. It's been an open forward line and Harding's used the space well.
And Grant's kicking tonight has been exceptional. Knocked up thinking the number of times he actually found a teammate. If he gets space, he is dangerous.
So Lee Harding, shown a bit tonight. We've shown a lot of faith in him too. He's often been the go-to man early in the game before Severio Rocca really took control of it. And he's coming in for only his 5th touch. He's kicked 2 goals, 1. And a chance to give the Kangaroos back the lead. 35 metres out from goal. Kick on its way, and he pops it through. The Kangaroos are back in front at the Gabba. 3 goals to Lee Harding. And the Roos lead by 3 points.
Well, the atmosphere at the ground's terrific, isn't it? I think there's a bit of Kangaroo support here.
I think you're right, and I think there's a lot of Lions supporters who would think, hey, we've got a close game.
Yes.
We don't get these.
Yeah.
We're having fun.
Yeah, I suppose it beats a 0-0 draw, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. And here they come, the crowd, trying to get their team back in front. We've had 3 lead changes as we see Lee Harding pop through his 3rd set shot for the evening. He's made no mistake. Kangaroos by 3 points. Keating to do battle with Burton once again. Burton wins it. Power at ground level. Makepeace has been very good. Scott, Archer right with him. McRae just searches forward with the handball. It falls for Colbert. Colbert goes back to Stevens. Some experience there. Over to Archer. He's pressured by Black though. Black gets it somehow. Gets a second chance. Goes to ground. Shattuck. Good tackle, Harvey. Black once again. Not as polished as he'd like to be. Somehow squeezes it out towards Headland. He's got to beat a couple. He's got Chris Johnson wide. He pops it over the top. It's a poor kick. And Makepeace once again in the way for the Kangaroos. Their back 6 has been very good. Makepeace runs himself in a bit of bother. Cochrane on his own in the middle. Sinclair running. Here come the Roos once again. They've already kicked 5 for the quarter. Ashcroft had to beat Grant. Over the back. Copeland. Here's a chance for Harding. Can he keep it in? Power there with him. And we've got a ball in.
Matty, while all that was going on, Alistair Lynch has now gone back forward, so he's gone back to full forward, and Justin Lepage has gone back onto Rocker. The original thought of the match committee, and there is Lynch back with McCartney on him.
So throw in, King takes it out of the ruck contest, just explodes away from Keating, kicks towards goal, bends it back, what a goal! David King just took it out of the ruck contest, ran away from Clark Keating on the boundary line and just bent it back, reminiscent of a goal he kicked against Carlton earlier in the season.
When he's on form, he's a good player to watch, isn't he? It's just fantastic. The thing I like about him, he actually kicks up when he kicks the footy around corners, and that's a great lesson. I mean, your foot's going to go through, and I think you've got more chance. Low balls can be cut off, obviously, by opposition players. Isn't that a lovely shot?
So David King enjoyed that one, enjoyed it with the crowd. 9 points now, suddenly the Kangaroos lead. They've kicked 6 goals to 1 in this term. What a great character this side has. It's the 3rd time they've come from behind this evening. Morale gets it out of the middle, kicks it forward again in a hurry. They crash the pack. Lepage over the top, fists it forward. Only as far as Stevens. Handball over the top. Here's Harvey, inside 50, over the top to Pickett from the boundary line. Pickett goes for home and puts it across the face. Severio Rocca puts his hands up and says, what about me? It isn't fair. 4 behinds to Pickett as we head boundary side. Here's Bill McDonald.
Well, no wonder David King enjoyed that goal so much, apart from the fact it was a fantastic kick. It was right in front of our friend that we spoke to at half-time with the big Lions tat right across his back. I think you'll find that he's the man he was gesturing to in the crowd. And also keep an eye on Brent Harvey, limping a bit after getting a knock in the shin.
Johnson goes short to Ackermanis. He takes the mark in the back pocket. Chips it over the top. Brisbane Lions just need to get some run off half-back. A bit static at the moment. Chris Scott to Ashcroft. The Roos have made all the play in this third term. We suggested the game wasn't over at half-time. How right we were. 42 possessions to 25 in this third term. The Kangaroos have used it beautifully. Headland plays on. Great test for the Lions here. Chock-a-block full of class and talent. Up towards the wing. Mark taken by Morrell. Some of the peripheral players just starting to come into this game for the Kangaroos. Morrell goes high. Rockers his target. 2 to beat. Ball at ground level. Grant was just lurking there waiting for the crumb. He got it. High ball inside 50. They'll contest 25 from goal. Harding over the top. Almost brought it down. King's there working hard. Ashcroft in there as well. Through the hands of Harding. Lippich's leg. Play on's the call. Comes out to Robbins. He's buried into the turf by McRae. And we'll have a bounce. It's the Roos by 10 points as we approach time on in the third term.
Been supreme inside their forward 50, the Roos. Grant, King, Harvey, just getting plenty of the ball. Keating, Burton over the top. Headland through a bit of traffic, went with the torpedo. Brown on Colbert. Colbert's been very good. Black, second attempt now. Player in the middle is Ackermanis. Can't play on from there. He can go wider though. Does so. Needs to hit the body. Hart can run onto it. Hart straightens. Gets around Stevens. Takes a bounce. Doesn't come back for him. Scoops it up. McRae's a clever kick, but he's kicked it behind that. Made a meal of it.
I was just wondering to myself, where's the leadership going to come from? Black, Ackermanis and Hart all involved there. They're 3 players who can really put their hands up here and take control of this game.
I think he was a bit stiff then too with that bounce. It just seemed to land very... It went down all right, but it just didn't come up.
Just didn't come up.
Yeah, I just must have got a... You know, sometimes you get a footprint, you know, where someone's got a heel print there and it just doesn't quite hit it right.
Someone hasn't replaced their divot now.
Yeah.
Martin. He's got Harvey. And he's got Stevens. They work it well to Archer. And they continue to set up a loose man. This is Colbert. Now they're outside of their defensive 50 to the wing. Simpson's good overhead. Ball comes back. Shattuck. It's around Morrell. What's his options up forward? Not a lot. Brad Scott. Good pressure by the Kangaroos. Trying to force the error here. White. Back to Scott. Now the long kick. At the back. Brown! Got himself out of position. Somehow managed to take the mark.
Took one from behind.
Well, he'd been talking about it all evening. It wasn't working for him in trying to play in front of Colbert. Hasn't kicked a lot of goals this season. Jonathan Brown, just 4 goals, 5 coming into this match. And so far tonight, he has not scored.
It's almost that he needs one of the couple of those, doesn't he, to get his season on track?
Yeah. Well, he goes back a long way. It's similar to Severo Rocker. He's gone all the way back to the wing. But it's a much-needed goal for Brisbane. They're only down by 9 points. The Kangaroos have been supreme in this third quarter. Hits it nicely. Not enough, though. It's going to land in the square. Well done by the Kangaroos. They force it through for a rush behind. Margin back to 8 points.
You sense the Brisbane Lions have just lifted as Jonathan Brown comes to the bench. Just lifted in the last couple of minutes, the Lions. They've sensed the danger, haven't they? They realise the Roos are rolling at the moment.
Yes, and the next goal obviously is very, very important.
Harvey to Cochrane towards half forward. Cut off by Darryl White. Swings it wide to the wing and finds Ashcroft. These are the senior players just starting to step up for Brisbane. There's another one, Lepich. Sells the dummy to Cochrane, runs inside, tries to get around King, fends him off. Kick was a shocker. Pickett picked it off. No one at home to kick to at all for Byron Pickett. He had to go backwards. Blakey now got trouble. There's 4 Lions just mauling him. in the end, that was a pretty good result for the Kangaroos. Will have a bounce. Byron Pickett picked it up at half-back, looked up. There was not one play within about 80 metres of goal.
No, Chris Johnson already peeled off and read it beautifully, so he had to hold it up. But when I say the next goal is important, I mean, there's not an unimportant goal in footy, but I think momentum swings, and that's what we've seen in this game. If someone can get one, they might get two or three.
It's up for grabs at the moment. Archer, little handball, had body pressure coming at him. Power towards Chris Scott, bounced through his hands. It's a hot football at the moment. Players on both sides sense this match is up for grabs. Power emerges from it. Great second effort. Spears the centering kick and finds that man, Chris Johnson. Malcolm Blight spoke about him moments ago. He's drifted forward. And now a chance to kick his 4th goal for the season.
And I think rated highly amongst the competition as a very, very good kick.
136 goals, 105. Chris Johnson in his career. Won the Fitzroy goal kicking back in 1995. Started his career as a forward. Opportunity here. Kick a vital goal. We're right behind the kick. It's on its way. Never looked like missing. Brisbane hit back. Johnson gets his first. And the Brisbane Lions, we've seen some momentum change over the last 3 or 4 minutes. They now translate that onto the scoreboard and the margin back to just 2 points.
Yes, and since we've spoken about that shift, and Power, it was a very scrappy bit of play, probably the most scrappiest bit of play we've seen. Bit of tiredness, but the kick was good to the hot spot. And Chris Johnson with those immaculate kicking skills.
Johnson's first, margin back to 2 points. Charman now on the ground, up against Porter. Ackermanis doesn't take it, just knocks it forward. McRae trying to do likewise. Porter takes it. Good play by the Roos, got it to Robbins. Whistle.
Advantage, come back.
It's coming back. Kick is going to Mark Porter.
Slung in the tackle, Matty.
Been very good up forward. Where's Rocker? Simpson! Over the back came Johnson. White through some traffic, got it to Scott. That was Brad Scott over to Lepich. He's got one player to kick to. It's got to be spot on. It's Chris Scott. Well done by Archer. Got back, brought the ball to ground. Now he needs support. Holds it up beautifully. Gets the free kick and he might get 50. Great play. Great sensible play by Archer. Now to drive the Kangaroos back into attack. Player on the lead is Morrell, presenting himself in this 3rd quarter. Got a bit of the ball. High ball. Porter's run down. He's unmarked. Luckily for Brisbane, Charman chipped in. A bit more carry on that ball, and it was Porter's. So the opposing ruckman Jew.
He's got good hands when he clunks them. They stay clunked, don't they?
Yeah. Just a couple of undisciplined acts so far.
Yeah.
A little bit immature. Hart. 4 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Fantastic performance by the Kangaroos. We now have a very close game. It's been a shootout. And we've got a 2-point margin. Scott to Power. Trying to inject himself into this contest. Kick suits McCartney. Goes back Lynch. Bradshaw, quick hands to Black. Has Lynch. He may give it to Ackermanis, or he'll go himself and put the Lions back in front.
Well, we've said it a number of times that you just figure that's why that last goal was important. It just seems though they're going to come in 2s and 3s for teams. And so Power, just a couple of important touches, crossing 50-metre line, setting it up. McCartney not quite able to hold it, and very good handball there from Bradshaw. Very, very good handball. And the old flat punt torp from Alistair Lynch.
The senior players have lifted.
Yep.
Right across the ground for Brisbane. They are a fantastic side, as we know. They sense the danger when the Kangaroos got a goal and a half in front. They've reeled them back with a couple of their own, and 3.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd term. They're in front by 4 points. Now to the middle, they go forward again. Black receives the handball from 55 out. It's one-on-one. Bradshaw against Martin. Spills to ground level. Cochran tries to slap it through. McRae goes off the ground. Misses to the left-hand side. His 2nd behind for the evening, both in this quarter. And the margin out to 5 points. McRae, just 5 touches for the evening to him. Been relatively quiet. Makepeace to Blakey. just his second touch. Handball over the top to McCartney. McCartney out towards the wing. Simpson's his target, kept his eyes on it, took a good mark. Disposal number 20 for Adam Simpson.
He's really good overhead.
Only his second touch for the quarter. He had 18 to half-time, just 2 this term. Simpson towards half-forward. Kick drop short. Robbins read it well. Mark Endor free kick. To Stevens. Inside the 50. Porter goes back, kept his eyes on it. At ground level, numbers with Brisbane. Sharman throws it out in front of Shattuck. Lepic lays the shepherd on Colbert. Shattuck, ugly but effective towards the middle of the ground. Headland to Johnson streaming forward. He goes inside the 50. Bradshaw against Martin. Martin got the fist to it. Ball at ground level. Ackermanis against Cochrane. Great run on one-on-one duels everywhere here. Ackermanis goes in for to Black. He plays on, goes for goal and pops it through. Three goals to Brisbane, and they're back in control of this contest. What a fantastic game it's been. The margin now out to 11 points. Simon Black kicks his first goal for the evening with his 16th disposal.
I've got a funny idea Shattuck tried that. I can't believe it. Looking at that, I reckon he had a look in the middle of the ground. I mean, that was amazing. If he's actually looked and kicked it on the outside of his boot, that is amazing. And how would you like to be chasing this bloke, Ackermanis, when you got 2 metres on someone? I mean, you think, oh no, hope he doesn't do too much damage.
Interesting choice from Black to play on and kick that goal then, wasn't he? He had Makepeace right alongside him.
Prefers to get goals on the run. Prefers to be moving rather than set shots. Well, the momentum swing again. Still 2.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Kangaroos. Robbins bangs it forward. At the back was Rocker. Copeland hasn't got possession. Still a chance for the Roos, but somehow it falls to Simon Black, who's now, as you mentioned, Jason, needed to step up and get hold of the foot. He's starting to. Brad Scott misses the target. The target was Headland. With some time, seeing confidence from Headland and Shattuck tonight. Sometimes a little bit too much. Confusion reigning here at the Gabba with Des Headland. In the end, he decides to just kick it up in the air. Johnson flies. Burton in front. Sinclair wrapped up. Will have a ball up inside the Lions forward 50.
Isn't it amazing where the momentum swings, how suddenly you can pick up time and space?
Yes.
10 minutes ago,
you had no
every time Brisbane picked up the footy they were pounced upon, suddenly they've got the space to work in.
Now, the question everyone should ask, where does the momentum come from? Do you go to the shop and buy it? At the 10-minute mark, do you get a dose of it?
We'll ponder that for the remainder of the quarter, Malcolm, and perhaps you can discuss it at three-quarter time.
Burton to Colbert. Morrell in the middle of the ground. White's got him wrapped up, but Colbert and Morrell got the hands free to Robbins towards half-forward. Lepic, another one who stepped up in the last 10 minutes. A couple of important possessions. Again, space for Brisbane. It's Chris Scott, handball inside to Charman. Here comes Byron Pickett to shut him down. Just put enough pressure on to make him miss the target. But again, they've got time. Power measures the pass inside 50. It was a sizzler. And Ackermanis goes up and plucks it out of midair.
They are great marks, Matty, aren't they? Oh, Jason, I mean, that is working the hardest thing in football, to meet the ball like that and clunk it.
Important kick this, 11 points of difference, 40 seconds remaining in this third term. Ackermanis wastes no time, goes back and puts it through. Brisbane making a statement to the rest of the AFL here in this third term. North Melbourne threw everything at them early in the quarter, kicked the opening 6 goals, and the Lions have hit back with 5 of their own, and we'll go to the three-quarter time break with something resembling a 17-point lead. I'm not quite sure to commit at this stage.
I don't think you should, Jason.
One of the things that Ackermanis does is that he goes back, he's kicking, he's confident, he knows what he's doing. He's as quick as anyone having a shot for goal. Which, there's something in that, isn't there? Just to be confident, go back, kick it.
Very confident. And we've seen some confidence from Power and Black in the last couple of minutes. Charman punching it forward. As well, you may not have committed, Jason. 22 seconds remaining. Chance for the Kangaroos. Grant's had a very good third quarter. On the up, the give is good. Makepeace got a player inside McCartney. They've got space inside their forward 50. Pickett over the top is Digby Morrell. Right before three-quarter time, he's crunched by Robert Copeland. That is a superb tackle. A goal-saving one as McRae searches for White. A little bit of rugby league background coming out, and Robert Copeland there, front on tackle. And right on three-quarter time, Digby's still not happy about it. But it made a statement.
I think he's entitled to, because he actually stayed on him forever.
Yeah.
I mean, he almost hatched him.
Yeah.
I mean, the first tackle was great, but it was a bit long. I think he's got a case to argue.
A genuine case.
A goal-saving tackle there at the death from Robert Copeland preserves Brisbane's 17-point lead. They led by 22 at half-time. The Kangaroos came out firing, but Brisbane, defending their proud home record, rallied again. And the margin at three-quarter time is 17 points in favour of the Brisbane Lions. Well, this game just keeps getting better and better. It's three-quarter time. Brisbane lead by 17 points. The Roos trailed by 22 at half-time. They kicked 4 in 9 minutes at the start of the third term. In fact, they kicked 6 of the first 7 goals. They were 10 points up 18 minutes into the quarter. And then Brisbane went whack, 4 goals in 8 minutes and re-established a 17-point lead. There's Dennis Pagan pleading for another effort. It'll be the 4th time tonight, Malcolm, if they can do it, that they've had to come from about 3 goals down.
Yeah, look, it's been a super performance, isn't it? We've seen many games up here where Brisbane have actually just motored on and creamed teams in the second half of the third quarter. Certainly happened a little bit, just to some degree there, as we watch this one of David King kicking the ball forward, and with a bit of shepherding and dancing on the line there by the look of it. That was a great finish, and there's another great finish. He can do that, can't he? He can kick goals quite unexpectedly. And here's that kick from Power back to Chris Johnson, who 20 seconds before was blown man in defence, so he did sneak forward. And that really started the run, didn't it? That seemed to break the game open a bit, and some good handball, good teamwork. And Alastair Lynch kicked his second.
They don't often have to find 5th gear here at home, do they? But they found it tonight in that third quarter. They all dig deep and decided, hey, we're not going to let this go the way it looks like it's going to at the moment.
Yes, indeed. And the stats as we look at them now, kicks, also long kicking still, some really good kicking, and just the contested possession still pretty tight, uncontested. I mean, that's amazing in a game of football for that to be the case. Kangaroos on top in the centre.
Let's hit boundary side. Here's Bill McDonald.
Someone with a bit of interest on both sides here, a former Brisbane player and a former Kangaroos premiership player, and the Kangaroos coterie manager at the moment, Mark Roberts. You would have liked what you saw in the first part of that third quarter.
Certainly have. It's been a terrific contest, and the boys have really kept the pressure up. It's whether or not they can keep it up for another quarter and keep the midfield of the Lions down, and we can hopefully come away with a victory.
They have had some tight finishes this year, the boys.
They have, so hopefully they can get over the line tonight.
Just quickly, what are you doing with yourself?
Just work as coterie manager of the Kangaroos, try and keep all the player sponsors and vice presidents and all that type of people happy. So yeah, enjoy.
Thanks very much for joining us.
No worries, thanks.
So from the centre clearance, as you see, they get it forward, and Power chips it inside the 50, and Alastair Lynch takes the mark. Well, we've seen quick goals at the start of every quarter, and this one, Malcolm, would really sting.
It would sting, but still those not necessarily over. You know, the tempo of the game, the mood of the game hasn't quite been like that. And you can't see North Melbourne sitting on their spikes and saying, we can't win it, let's keep going.
Oh, they'll come again.
What's going on
Another
here?
decision off the ball. Shattuck tangling with Archer, and it's going to be a free kick downfield right to the goal line for Brisbane.
I don't know if this is the best game we've seen this year. It's close, but I'm nearly sick of this.
Yeah,
I mean, there's been a lot of undisciplined stuff off the footy, hasn't there?
Yeah, and the umpires have been red hot on it tonight, and the players just haven't got the message clearly. No. The 3-umpire system, the umpire not officiating, has been sharp all night as Alastair Lynch comes in and kicks his third goal. And the margin now out to 23 points, a minute and a half gone in this final term. Lynch with 3. And the Brisbane Lions have won 10 of 11 final terms this season, so they are good finishers. As Glenn Archer gets dragged straight to the bench. I'm tipping the patience of both coaches have been tested tonight. We've seen shots throughout the evening of Dennis Pagan and Lee Matthews, both looking pretty frustrated at times.
Yes, because of those sorts of indiscretions.
So Archer has a seat. There is Dennis Pagan and his coaching panel. Looking a little bit flat after that effort. The margin now 23 points. Can the Roos dig deep again? You wouldn't write them off on the back of their performance so far this evening. Burton, Simpson in there, almost able to get it clear. Black wins it. Headland. Brisbane are smelling blood in the water at the moment. They go inside the 50. Bradshaw over the top of his contest with Mick Martin. Ball dribbles out for a throw-in about 10 metres around from the behind post. There's Glenn Archer.
Mark Porter in the foreground. 23 points is the margin. Bradshaw with 4, Lynch with 3 with Ackermanis, and Big Severo Rocker with 6 for the Kangaroos. Had a few opponents. Shattuck gets rid of Burton. Colbert quickly onto the boot. Sinclair there for the Roos. Goes past him and gets an off break. The ball goes out of bounds.
Leading stat getters for both sides. Adam Simpson 20, just 2 in that third term. 16 to Grant and Robbins for the Kangaroos. For Brisbane, Black 18, Headland 18, Brad Scott 17, Power and Shattuck 16 apiece.
Yeah, where did Black come from? All of a sudden, wasn't it?
Well, he was the one, wasn't he? I mean, we mentioned that he was the one in the middle. He's almost a young veteran now, isn't he, in standing in football?
Yeah, he's only 23 years of age,
Yeah.
but 87th game of football. But such is the quality of the Brisbane midfield, you think he's been there for a lot longer.
8 possessions in that third term for Simon Black.
Ball up, half-forward line for Brisbane. Charman against Burton. Charman decides to take it and back himself. Bolton there for Brisbane. Kangaroos player receiving a wedgie there. That was Johnny Blakey.
Bit of marking power up forward for the Kangaroos, isn't there? Rocker, McCartney and Morrell.
Once again, replay. Burton. Punch forward. It goes to Robbins. High ball. Hard ball to Mark. Gee, that is a clever mark for Stevens. May have just travelled the 15. They quickly move it. Grant, quick hands to Simpson. Stevens, Grant, Simpson. 3 quality players. That is not a kick Simpson will be very proud of. It was a nothing kick in the end. And it goes to Johnson, who feeds Lepich, who breaks. Pickett approaches. He won't try and take him on or will he? He does. Usually not a good action. Rocker did enough, but Shattuck around the body. High ball. Lynch, too strong over Colbert. Wants support. Dragged to the ground, 50 metres. There'll be another goal to Lynch.
Well, I'm not as certain about that one as some of the others that have gone on all night, to be honest, but...
Would you run the gauntlet, though, with the precedent that's been set this evening?
Yeah, that's probably true, too. Because it's a very strong mark, isn't he? He's a strong man. Right there. Once again, I suppose the umpire's right, technically, isn't he? And when he didn't go off the mark, all he did was try and get his hands free. But stiff.
Lynch is still to kick the goal. He's got to kick it from 30 metres. It's not a fait to complete. It is now. Four goals to Alistair Lynch. So 8 goals out of the dual full forwards for Brisbane. Lee Matthews will be happy with that return from his 2 key forwards.
Now, does my memory serve me right and say that there are 2 kicks at goal now, that there's been 2 50 metres? Both to Alistair Lynch?
Correct.
At the start of the last quarter.
It wasn't much of a 50 either. He was about 15 metres outside the 50-metre arc and kicked it from about 35.
Well, there's that debate about whether there perhaps a 25 might be for a minor indiscretion. Let's not get too technical.
There's Lee Colbert sitting down. He replaces Glenn Archer on the bench in that seat. Glenn Archer back on the ground. So a hill to climb now for the Kangaroos. It's out to 29 points. Robbins. They need a goal, the Roos, just to get that momentum going again. Bolton in there working hard. Bounces off his own man in black. Won the footy. Got it inside 50. Handball a bit fierce from McRae. Blakey. His former Fitzroy teammate. Lynch accepts it. Black to Copeland. Just chips it over the top. There's men all alone in 50. Power just too slow. Went to play on. Makepeace ran him down from behind. Blakey wins it for the Kangaroos. Can they create something off halfback themselves? Archer to Simpson. 20-second touch for Simpson towards half forward. Rocker was scragged out of the contest and will take the free kick. He's about 70 metres out from goal, Sav Rocker. Byron Pickett leads from the square now. North Melbourne players flood back. Rocker launches it long. It'll go right towards the line, up to the square, off the hands of Johnson. Ball still alive for the Roos. Burton tries to turn, drops the ball. Here's Pickett, steps around Johnson. Byron Pickett from 5 metres out, kicks the goal. Great presence of mind from Byron Pickett. Severio rocker, that penetration in the kick. Managed to get it forward before the Brisbane defence could really get back there en masse.
Yes, and right on cue when you think Brisbane are going to run away with this game.
Just when Luke Power has it, easy goal.
Yeah.
Kangaroos are back.
Yeah, Burton was good there. He just tried. He knew where Pickett was. He tried to get it to him, but Byron got his first goal after 4 points. He was pretty happy.
So the Kangaroos get it back to 23 points. And have they been to the shop, Malcolm, to get some of that momentum you're talking about? Have they had a dose and they're coming back into it? Charman, Black, clever handball. Ackermanis, great tackle by Makepeace. He can't go anywhere. Players going in hard. Bolton, good handball. Chris Scott, Ackermanis kept going. Backs himself, left or right foot. He's missed it. 3 goals, 3 to Jason Ackermanis. He's hit the post twice. And that is his third behind, and umpire has said, goal umpire hasn't finished waving the flags. Just settle down, David.
But it just came back to that. I mean, we talk about that confidence and teams and buying stuff at the shop and all that.
Yep.
But I mean, it's just a belief within the team, isn't it? When you play the game and your teammates do some good things, and all of a sudden the ball starts falling your way, and I guess that's where you buy it, isn't it?
Yep.
Of touching the footy well.
Confidence in your teammates' abilities.
Yeah.
McCartney, 1-2 with Harvey. Got some numbers here, the Roos. Robbins.
Suddenly they're just finding the time and space again. Momentum swinging.
That kick to a contest. Ball hits ground level. Teague in the right spot. From inside 50. Not a bad kick either. He's got 2 in a row for the Roos. David Teague.
Can I say the shop is busy? and we know we should leave it alone.
Margin back to 18 points. Anthony Stevens has a breather. David Teague kicks his first goal, his 4th for his career. And Ben Robbins again, just the time and space, spotted Teague, roved it off the pack nicely. Kicks the goal, and suddenly it's only 18 points again. We've only played 9.5 minutes. So for the 4th time this evening, the Kangaroos try to mount a comeback. They're back to within 18 points, and this game is still alive. Still 15 minutes of time, plus time on to be played in this one. Burton tries to take it out of the contest. Umpire comes in and said held to him, no chance to get rid of it. And we'll have a secondary bounce. Spider Burton doesn't necessarily agree with that decision.
It's been good, Burton, hasn't he?
Just given him some presence, hasn't he? Yep. 24 hit-outs for Spider Burton. He'll go again here. And there's number 25, although Charman got the secondary hit out. Clayton had it and fell over. Black sells the dummy to Blakey. Handball inside to Bolton. Out wide to Power. Over the top to Ackermanis. He'll run to 45. Ackermanis goes for goal and misses again. 3 goals, 4 to Jason Ackermanis. They're usually his trademark, running goals in space inside the 50, but tonight he just hasn't been able to put them away.
I was just trying to think of another player right now who's more as dangerous as this guy running forward. You know, from a 50-50, yeah. And the way he's used by the Brisbane players is excellent. They do feed it out to him, don't they? But he's hard running, amazing.
Speaking of hard running, Harvey broke really hard to the outer side and King's kick was perfect. Harvey has a bounce. Kicks towards half forward. Morrell, Copeland went the punch, mistimed it. Brad Scott at the back, taken to the line by Archer. And again, the last 4 or 5 minutes, the Roos have just stepped up their intensity. May well rue a couple of those 50-metre penalties, take those out of the equation. And it's a lot tighter, that's for sure. Throw in, outer side of the ground. Simpson tried to take it out of the contest. Clayton goes to ground, pounced on by Headland. Byer comes in, says no chance, ball it up. 65 metres out from the Kangaroo goal. Just under 14 minutes remaining. 19 points the margin. We've seen the Kangaroos already tonight kick 4 goals in 9 minutes. So there's plenty of time remaining. Here's Simpson. Runs to 65 metres out. Rocker's his target. 2 to beat. Ground level. It's both the Kangaroos that retain their feet, but Rocker can't keep it in. Throw in alongside the boundary post. Opportunity. Half chance goes begging there. 50-metre penalties tonight. 4 to Brisbane, 1 to the Kangaroos. 5 in one game of footy. Just suggests players need to be careful off the football. Throw in. Rocker has the front spot. Charman got the tap down. Pickett sharked it. But Sean Hart wrapped him up. We'll have another bounce. Just a stalemate in the last minute and a half. The margin's still 19 points. Just under 13 and a half minutes remaining.
I reckon those 4 penalties, one was a bit further down the ground, but I reckon they've all resulted in goals. Or maybe direct kicks or not far after.
Could be right there. Burton, clever tap to Harding. He's wrapped up. Gee, Burton's so dangerous here. It's almost as if Brisbane are conceding the knock and then trying to put the pressure on for the tackle, because Burton just found Harding beautifully there. It's where 30 metres out from their goal, directly in front. Looking for the third in a row. Power on the up. Leppich needs to be hit the body. Well, Teague did well there. Ashcroft under pressure. Shovels it out to Chris Scott. Shattuck will go back. No, sold the dummy.
She's good at
sold
that.
a couple. Confidence rising from Shattuck. Lynch over the back. 2-on-1. Kangaroos free kick. Lynch for a push. He's got Brad Scott, who can run into some space. McCartney will close, or will he go over the top? Now to 50, pops it up in the air. Pack forms, Copeland there with Bradshaw. Mickey did enough. Forced the contest through for a rush behind to put the margin to 20 points. Let's have a look at Lynch. Nothing in that. So a bit fortunate there. Archer has Clayton breaking for him. Kangaroos running hard here, trying to set up a loose man. Morrell was the target, kick dropped short, and that suits Darryl White. Started brilliantly, White, with 5 marks in the first quarter. Has spent some time on the bench, but that is mark number 9. Chris Scott. A little bit of slow motion. Hooks it back with the left towards Bolton. Good punch by Blakey. 2 very similar players in size and stature there.
So a throw in, just outside the 50. Lynch tried to take it out of the contest. It came to make peace. Kick for territory and finds the boundary line on the outer side.
Josh, I'm just looking around the ground to see where these 3 goals are going to come from, and I've just noticed Dennis Pagan's taken Byron Pickett back to full forward, virtually 1 out in the goal square. So if they can get quick movement down there, Byron is going to play on Luke Power.
The ball slapped back to the line. We'll do it all again. You just get the feeling with 11 minutes remaining, the Kangaroos are just setting themselves for one last crack at this. They've spotted the danger, Malcolm, and they're sending Chris Johnson back onto Byron Pickett. They don't like the power matchup. Blakey on the bottom of that pack. And we see Chris Johnson go back onto Byron Pickett, releasing Luke Power further up the ground. We'll have another bounce.
So what we need now is, from this contested situation, as we look back there, Chris Johnson now just getting there to Pickett, 1 out. This is where 50-50s are important, aren't they? When that structure's there, to get Pickett 1 out, it's very important here. Quick play. Kangaroos, any chance at all, need something from this little bit of play. They've worked their way from the goal square all the way up the ground.
You mentioned at the start of the evening they had a superiority in clearances. Clearances are 38-30. Adam Simpson got an important one there. He leads the game with 8 clearances. He's going to be a very important player in this remaining 10 minutes. He's had 25 touches, the most on the ground. Burton, there he is again on cue. Thank you, Adam Simpson. Handball didn't find its target. Here's Bolton. Tries to run away from Archer. Just got enough of his jumper to affect the kick. Turnover. Burton, Harvey, Stevens, Simpson. Back to Harvey. Here's King. From 49 metres out, David King. Here's Rocker from the side. Rocker, Pickett, goal! There it is, the one-on-one matchup. Malcolm Blight, you should consider a career in coaching. Byron Pickett kicks the goal. And the Kangaroos manufactured that one beautifully. 2 to Pickett. And the margin again back to 14 points. Don't go anywhere. This game is not over.
Amazing. Great chase from behind there, and just that awareness. Guys not panicking with the football. Any young player watching, if you don't have to panic, don't. And then the kick to the top of the square. All it needed was Rocker coming back. See Rocker coming from the side. And then Pickett. A grade 1 position.
He's kicked 2 goals in this last quarter, Byron Pickett. Margin back to 14 points. They led by 10 points during the third quarter, the Kangaroos. All of a sudden, Brisbane went berserk to lead by 29. But they've got the last 3. Inside the last 10 minutes. Keating. Here they go again. The Kangaroos. No, not to be. Black with the give. Ashcroft. Inside forward 50. Makepeace got back. McRae been well held. Keating to Ashcroft once again. Needs it the body. Doesn't. Short. Black, where did he come from? That's hard running. But it's only a behind. 14-point margin.
To say the Brisbane are challenged. I know they win a lot of games up here much easier than most, but they're always challenged, aren't they, for a long while? It's almost like when you wear the Premier the mantle that you're a huge scalp, aren't you, to even play well against?
Yep. 15 points is the margin.
Simpson to Archer, to Stevens. Socket off the ground by Hart. Out of bounds on the full. Momentum again just swinging the way of the Kangaroos. Anthony Stevens has gone off for a spell in this quarter. He's back on now for one last attempt. Goes looking for Shannon Grant over his head. The back of the contest. Copeland to Ashcroft. Goes short. Darryl White takes the mark. Centre wing out of sight of the ground. 9 minutes remaining. 15 points is the margin. White to half forward. A man in space. It's Copeland who ran on. And he has it 60 metres out from goal.
So just looking at
Copeland.
Keating trying to lurk down there. Burton going with him now, though.
Loose checking. Simon Black thought about playing on Matthew. He does like to kick goals on the run. That's very well spotted. Thought about it and realised it just wasn't the space on that occasion. Ben Robbins was too quick to come over. Ben Robbins, probably as much as anyone knows, he likes to play on, being a former teammate of his. So Black left to go back and kick this 50-plus. 24th possession, Simon Black. He's kicked 1 goal, 3 for the evening. Important kick. Runs out to the left, got very close to the man on the mark. Robbins smothered it. Black not confident of the distance. Into the middle of the ground. Grant's got the mark. The Kangaroos break hard through the centre. They've got runners in all directions. Grant needs to move it quickly. King has run down and offered a target. Scott gets back, but King in best position. He'll play on from 48 metres. It could be a 2-goal turnaround, but he misses. Important kick. Opportunity goes begging for David King. 2 goals won his return for this evening. And the margin back to 14 points.
Gee, you'd almost back him there, wouldn't you? Most times.
9 times out of 10 you back him on the run there. On the move.
Well, he and Jason Ackermanis, both great finishers, and they've both missed the target tonight. Johnson goes wide, finds Darryl White. Possession number 12 for him. 12 possessions, 12 marks for White. Goes out looking for Copeland, who flew high over Archer. That hurt Glenn Archer, but he's not going to show it. He gets up and walks away.
Now we're saying in that exciting first quarter as we watch this Copeland with a big jump. That's good to have a spring like that. That'll be handy as he gets to understand what to do with it better. Said 20 goals would probably be kicked tonight.
19 plays 18 at the minute.
Clearance goes the way of Brisbane. Hart, the kick was ineffective. Makepeace under pressure. At least forced it towards McCartney. He's under the pump as well. Cochrane. Great ball to be won here. Power slaps it out. Here's Harding for the Kangaroos. Great effort from Keating. Put his body on the line. So did McRae and so did Blakey. This game is up for grabs.
Great footy.
7 minutes remaining. 14 points the margin, and the crowd just cheer both sides there. Fantastic commitment. We see it again on replay. Players coming in from all directions. Bounce in the middle of the ground. Simpson again fists it away from the stoppage. Harding tried to tap it on, but Ashcroft comes away for the Lions.
A couple of players to kick to. One of them is Sean Hart. He's running. Told to run by Simon Black, running next to him. Takes his time. Spots Ackermanis. Kick is short. It was a tired kick from Sean Hart. Makepeace. Been impressed by his game. Got a player in Grant. Keating. Will he offend? No. Ball comes down to Burton. Grant eventually gets it. Kicks forward. Copeland goes for the spoil. King. Chance now for David King. Can he make amends? He runs to 50. This time, he's not going to have enough carry. It's going to land in the goal square. Stevens almost made nothing, something out of nothing. And the ball rolls into the post. And just in the last couple of minutes, you just think some of the... They look to have a bit better in the legs at the moment, the Kangaroos. Brisbane looking a little bit tired. Adam Simpson's back to his best after a quiet third quarter. This is Chris Scott. We've got just over 6 minutes remaining. It's almost down to 2 kicks for the Kangaroos. Another kick into the man on the mark. Well, we talk about tired legs, perhaps tired heads.
Yes, an old coach of mine, I've said this many times, said if ever you thought you'd chop your leg off if you kicked in the man of mark, you'd never actually do it, would you?
That's true. Boundary throw in. Burton slapped it over the top. Coming through was Chris Scott. Morrell cut it off. Burton goes a couple of times. Numbers here for the Roos. Copeland dives on it. Another ball up. 19-16 to 18-9.
It's just at the last gasp stage now, isn't it, where both teams realise it's on the line and they're just throwing their bodies in to hold the footy in.
Yeah, can't afford to let it spill free. Open players, they'll kick goals. We've had 37 goals for the evening. Burton comes to Cochrane. Somehow gets it forward. Where's the dangerous Pickett? Is that a goal? I think it is. Yes, it is. Byron Pickett manufactures something out of nothing. His third, but 4 in a row to the Kangaroos. They've got plenty of time.
Well, what an amazing... Stuart Cochrane just kicks the ball forward. It was always going to bounce up high. Yes, he's got it.
He's edged it through.
Let's have a look. Is it Byron's or is it Stuart Cochrane's?
No, it's dead set Byron's. If you look at this, he just gets a nick on it. There, right on the toe. First slip job.
So the replay shows Byron Pickett just got the absolute tiniest piece of boot on that. He claims the goal. Suddenly it's 7 points the margin. The Roos have had the Brisbane Lions on the ropes for the last 5 minutes, haven't been able to land a punch. They've landed one now. Robbins tries to win it forward again. Sinclair tried to go off the ground. Black, 25th touch, handball backward towards Johnson. He goes looking for the line. Got enough distance, and they'll throw it in.
Haven't the Kangaroos played in some nail-biters this year?
Amazing some of the close finishes they've had.
It's great quality to never know when you're beaten, isn't it? And they've just been like that all night. 4 times now they've rallied to come from behind, where other sides have gone to water here at the Gabba over the last 12 months. Back towards the line and a throw in again. We mentioned, Malcolm, 16 times Brisbane have won on the trot here. Only once has a side got within 5 goals, and that was round 10 of last year. Kangaroos are certainly going to do that tonight. Whether they win the game or not, it's been a wonderful performance on their behalf. Burton got the tap down. Players pile in again. And full credit too to Brisbane. They were challenged in that third term. They've stood up tall tonight. Their senior players put their hand up when required. It's been a fantastic contest from the opening bounce. There's the bench. Pike, Brown and Michael watch on. 7 points is the margin. Here's the dangerous Ackermanis. We've spoken about what a dangerous player he is. He spins around. Handball to Power. Power on to 40. He runs to 35. He goes for goal and misses again. Hits the post. Well, haven't we had some fast breaks this evening? Players just not able to finish it off. That would have just about iced the game there for Luke Power and the Brisbane Lions. And again, it's that man Ackermanis getting forward of the contest. Luke Power just couldn't quite close the deal. 4.5 minutes remaining. The Roos breathe again. 8 points is the margin. Sinclair has it. Defensive 40 metres. Onto his left boot. Thumps it around the wing. McCartney's there. Over the top. It spills to Stevens. Copeland on his hammer. Stevens farms it out. Bradshaw to Ashcroft. To Black. Sells the dummy to Robbins. Works onto his right boot. Chips it around the boundary line and finds McRae. Great poise, great skill from Simon Black on his non-preferred side. Craig McRae, 10th touch coming up. Spots a target. Goes towards the 50. Oh, Johnson! What a mark!
That's all it needed.
Over the top of Archer. Full credit to Glenn Archer. Great courage from him to back. He knew someone was coming, would have heard the footsteps, and what a hanger. The crowd love it. And Malcolm, we said during the call, all this needs is a big specky. Now we've got one. The game is complete.
Well, the 20th goal might just do it.
Reverse angle, Chris Johnson to ice the game, dare I say it. Kick on its way. It's right to the line. White got hands, it's still alive. Makepeace runs it through. Let's have a look at that one again. Well worth it. That is your classic Specky. Makepeace with the kick in, comes to the members' side. Clayton has it, and the Roos break from half-back.
Still alive, 9 points to margin. Hart went back, no free kick to Harvey. Brisbane with the numbers. Power. Good tackle by Cochrane, but somehow Power got it back to Hart. Hart wants Shattuck. Makepeace there for the spoil. Ball comes to ground. Clayton searches at the boundary and finds it. 9 points is the margin. 2.5 minutes remaining in what has been a great game of footy. Boundary throw in. Dennis Pagan. He knows that there is very little in this contest. Very little in 4 points. Clayton. Morrell. Bolton gets there first. Crowd will applaud. Both coaches giving the final workout, as you'd expect. Lee leans back. Burton over the top. Simpson went without it. Power impressive in the last couple of minutes. Here's the man that took that. Specky Johnson wants White over his head. Chance of Mickey Martin. Does well. Got to Makepeace. Good tackle from McRae. Ball spills free. Archer caught by Ackermanis. Chris Scott spots Chris Johnson over the corner. And that will be a mark to Chris Johnson, 10 metres out. He's taken the Specky and he's going to finish it off with a goal. Just 15 metres, if they're lucky.
Was it the 14.9?
14, I think.
Yeah, 14.9 or 15.1.
Johnson for his second. He's just got it. Brisbane gets some space.
Well, it's tough. I mean, he's a defender and he's kicked 2 goals. It's that sort of game, isn't it? His hard running, his ability to run forward. Glenn Archer in all sorts of bother there. And then Scott, just lovely little chip over the top. And, yep, they've kicked their 20th goal. And I guess the prediction now is, can the Kangaroos get their 20?
So we speculated just before half-time, 20 might be enough to win it, 20 goals that is. It may well be. I'm not predicting anything. There's still 94 seconds left. This game has had it all. Burton got the tap. Ackermanis important centre break. And Brisbane get it. Shattuck absolutely launches the torpedo to the top of the goal square. Mickey Martin wrapped up by Scott. Gave it to Archer. He was under just as much pressure. Back to Blakey. And with experience, he finds the line. How was the kick from Shattuck off one step?
It's not a high percentage, but it's one of those you just throw on your boot and hope, don't you?
He's had a good night, Shattuck. 20 possessions, 3 goals, 5 inside 50s. Particularly in the first half, really stood up. A mass of players around this ball, as you can see. White goes up, taps it to the hot spot. McCartney went off the ground. Simpson, tackled by Ackermanis, dribbles the kick towards Harding. He's under pressure from McRae. Handball back to Makepeace. Gets around one tackle, taken in the second, but got the ball to Archer. Archer straight up the middle to Sinclair. Off the back edge of the centre square. Grant thought about the Shepherd, chose not to. Sinclair tumbles a kick to half forward. Missed its target, Lepich. To Ashcroft, they can counter punch now the Lions. Ashcroft to Hart. 75 metres out from goal. 40 seconds on the clock. He's happy to just sit on the footy. Sean Hart, quiet night, just his 12th touch coming up. Scott, Chris Scott, runs hard for him, and he takes the mark and accidentally or otherwise falls to ground. And happy just to run the clock down. There's a free kick off the ball, another one. It's going the way of the Kangaroos. Holding, you see there, Derek Humphrey-Smith just signalling off the play. It goes the way of the Roos. Cochrane to half forward, Rocker. Black there to Johnson. Another free kick, advantage paid to Brisbane. It's now going to come back. And with 5 seconds on the clock, that will be the last passage of play. Brisbane extend their run at home to 17 straight wins at the Gabba in one of the classic games of 2002. The Brisbane Lions run out winners, 20-18-138. Defeating the Kangaroos 19-9, 123. The final margin is 15 points. A dejected Byron Pickett. They gave it their all, the Kangaroos. 4 times tonight. They came from a situation where it looked like Brisbane were almost going to crack the game open. They trailed by as much as 26 points, even in the last quarter. Came back, gave it their all, but in the end, Brisbane just settled and kicked goals when they needed to.
Yeah, I mean, both teams, when you look back, you'd say they both played well. And I mean, it's pretty hard sometimes, you know, particularly if you're a supporter or a coach or someone tied up with a footy club, to say, look, we were beaten by a better side on the night. We had a dead set crack. We just weren't quite good enough on the night. But I'd suggest there's positive out of for both teams tonight. Both coaches could take something away from that game, as could all of their supporters.
Well, it's little consolation to Dennis Pagan and his Chargers, but no one has got closer on Brisbane's winning streak of 17 in a row at the Gabba. The previous best was Essendon, got within 28 points. The Roos have got within 15 tonight. Let's head down to ground level. Here's Billy McDonald.
Well, Alistair Lynch, it's a great game to watch. How was it to play in?
Yeah, great. It was tough. I mean, it's what you expect from the Kangaroos every time, and it shows that it's not just an automatic win for us up here. I mean, it's a quality side and tough conditions, and good to get up in a close one.
One of the hardest ones you've had this year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, as I said, you know what they're going to give you. They're hard at it. Everyone's written them off earlier in the year, and quality side, and they performed tonight.
Quality of the side, you lost, of course, Voss, Lappin.
Yeah.
They still rebound and had coming back at you all the time to still turn it around to get it. Says a bit.
It's great for the young blokes or the other blokes that stepped up and went into the midfield and done an extremely good job. We have a number that go through each week, and I suppose that 4 usually get the most of the credits, but we have a number of guys that play well week in, week out.
I know during the week people ask, they talk about Carey coming up here, you retiring, but every week at the end of the game you've got 4 or 5 goals. You must be pretty rapt yourself.
Oh, I'm not real keen on retiring yet.
All right, thanks, mate. Go and enjoy it.
Bill McDonald trying for a scoop. Alistair Lynch not tumbling in. The final margin, 15 points. A wonderful game of football. Brisbane by 6 at quarter time, 22 at half time, 17 at three-quarter time. In the end, they run out victors by 15 points. So in the end, it was Brisbane by 15 points in a twisting, turning game that had it all. Alistair Lynch and Daniel Bradshaw finished with 4 goals apiece. Ackermanis and Shattuck 3 apiece for Brisbane, while for the Kangaroos, Sav Rocker was magnificent with 6 goals, Byron Pickett and Lee Harding 3 apiece. Well, it was a cracking pace from the opening bounce, and Malcolm Blight, it only just kept getting better and better and better.
Look, it was a genuine game of footy, wasn't it? And, you know, there's been a few you watch throughout the year that aren't like that, but look, I think both sides were terrific, and the scoreboard says so. It was reasonably attacking, but there was some good defensive stuff as well, and in and around the tight stuff. Well, just in the end when it counted, the pace of Ackermanis in that last quarter, just 3 or 4 times, just broke the game open. Not they always got goals from it, but it just looked more dangerous, didn't it, in that environment?
The big word of the night was momentum. You could almost tangibly sense it shifting in this game time after time, and so many times tonight the sides didn't just kick 1 goal. It wasn't goal for goal almost at any stage of the game. It came in blocks of 3 or 4 goals. They trailed by 22 points at half-time, the Kangaroos. They then came out and kicked 4 in 9 minutes. They got 10 points up halfway through the third term. We're starting to think, gee whiz, Brisbane under pressure need to stand up. So they did. They then kicked 4 in 8 minutes at the end of the third term, and the game was back on again.
Yeah, and look, and this guy kicked 3 goals in the last quarter too. Sadly, I mean, Sav Rocker didn't actually get a goal in the last quarter, but he actually contested a few balls. But you just always thought that they were just that margin in front all night, weren't you? And look, the Kangaroos, when Dennis Pagan sits down and look at this, I'll give it to Byron. Let's give it to him.
Stewie Cochran stiff, isn't he?
There's the little jump from Chris Johnson. What a great mark that was. And here it is, the final one, really, that really just sealed it, and that was so late in the game, the cup of tea was gone cold.
So Chris Johnson, big mark, big goal. He finished with 2 for the evening. There are the match stats. Look at those uncontested and contested possessions. They still finished pretty even, although in the end Brisbane just snuck ahead on the uncontesteds, and that was in that last quarter when we just sensed them get on top.
Yeah, and just a few more uncontested too. So, I mean, that's the way the game folded. But also inside 50s, I suppose if you go in 12 more times and you have got some quality forwards, they did kick more points. The margin was actually 1-9, wasn't it? So, but look, an entertaining game, thoroughly. Both teams will take a lot out of it after their little break.
It was a game of fierce contest, but it was also a game of lack of discipline at times, wasn't it? And a couple of those 50-metre penalties that resulted in goals to the Brisbane Lions, really, Dennis Pagan would probably sit back now and just go, look, gee whiz, that's cost us. There was Sinclair, Archer, Colbert, all got dragged for giving away 50-metre penalties and giving away goals.
Yeah, from a purist in the game, I think it was terrific. Everything was good. But just that little niggle, you know, where you get pushed in the face or someone grabs you around the neck, really shouldn't be in today's footy. I mean, they know you're going to umpire it, you know you're going to get 50 metres, and it is a frustration for all concerned.
It was a wonderful coaching contest too, wasn't it, between Pagan and Matthews? You could see it unfolding out there as it happened.
Yeah,
moves like Byron Pickett to full forward, things like that.
Yeah, look, I think because both teams have been so exposed in finals for so many years now, that there are some moves that you see these coaches do. Not always working. A couple of new ones tonight, which were interesting. But yeah, they've battled against each other for a long time now.
Yeah, certainly a fantastic game to whet the appetite. There is one more match in round 12. It's been an epic round of footy. There's been some wonderful games. And Port Adelaide versus Richmond at Footy Park tomorrow. One of the toughest asks in football, but Richmond would take heart from the Kangaroos' performance here tonight.
Well, they would, but Port, gee, they look good at the moment, don't they?
There's round 13 next weekend. It starts on Friday night, Essendon versus Melbourne at Colonial Stadium. Saturday, Richmond take on Geelong at the MCG. Port Adelaide versus the Western Bulldogs, live and uninterrupted on Fox Footy on Saturday afternoon. That will be a fantastic game. The Bulldogs travelling as well as just about anyone going around.
Yes, when they're in form, they do travel well, don't they?
So they've done beautifully after losing their first 5. There's Saturday night's games. Collingwood and the Kangaroos at Colonial. Suddenly that turns into an absolute crackerjack game. Brisbane back here again against Carlton.
Yep. And of course on Sunday, Sydney travel all the way to Fremantle.
West Coast take on Adelaide at Subiaco. Another very interesting game, that one.
I mean, they become very interesting.
And St Kilda and Hawthorn, almost curtains for the loser, you'd say, in season 2002. What a wonderful game of football it's been at the Gabba tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it, Malcolm. I know you have. In the end, it was the Brisbane Lions by 15 points. Have a great night. Welcome to the replay of Melbourne